skies, but not like this one. They always seem too high to touch. Dreams are real and they've just begun. They're yours if you want them that much. Some people put off for tomorrow the dreams that they open for today. It's now, and we're proud to say we're reaching out to touch the sky. La 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 la. Close your eyes, concentrate, let your imaginations fly. We'll journey through a cosmic state. We're reaching out to touch the sky. Some people put off for tomorrow the dreams that they are hoping for today. The time is now, and we're proud to say we're reaching out to touch the sky.
I'm searching high, not low, as high as the mind can go. I feel the breeze, it's heading our way. Hold on to your dreams, hold on to today. We've got it all and I believe it's right. Sharing our dreams and our passions under sky shining bright. We've got it all. Do you remember not long ago visiting dreams?
Who wouldn't know I'd be the one here by your side, holding your hands, being alive. We've got it all and I believe it's right. Sharing our dreams and our passions under sky shining bright. We've got it all. Day and night.
From within your mind, no one else can find the love that you inspired. From the very start, hidden in your heart, it is love that is even higher.
From within our mind, no one else can find the love that is inspired. From the very start, hidden in the heart, it is love that is even higher.
Love is contagious, and you have both caught it. soon. I feel the breeze heading our way. Hold on to your dreams, hold on to today.
We got it all and I believe it's right. Sharing our dreams and our passions. Sky shining bright, we got it all. Day and night. When I'm dreaming of a dream. Hoping to find what I feel in my mind is a part of me. Ain't it funny how the whole world seems to be? When I'm dreaming of a dream. Taking a trip through the sunlit land, hoping to find what I see, trying to understand. Wanting to find what I feel in my mind is a place that I long to be.
Come on and take my hand.
Oh no, yes, now try to understand me before my vision starts slipping away. Oh no, yes, now feelings not forever, and they may never happen again this way. When I'm dreaming of a dream. Hoping to find what I feel in my mind is a part of me. Ain't it funny how the whole world seems to be? When I'm dreaming of a dream.
Answer the call of emotions, bearing the wish of a child's faith. It's an open book. Part of the joy that I get from this boy is his innocent laugh and his style. Come and take another look.
What does it take to build a friend? A little bit of trust and advice to lend. I need a friendship, I know that's true. Just like the friendship I have with you. Just like the friendship you have with me. Yes, just like the friendship I have with you. Together we can make him be exactly like our fantasy, with bits and parts and faithful hearts, creating Remlazar. What does it take to build a friend? A little bit of trust and advice to lend. I need a friendship, I know that's true. Just like the friendship I have with you. Just like the friendship you have with me. Yes, just like the friendship I have with you.
Hello everyone, welcome to another Catfish stream. How's everyone doing? I hope you're having a good weekend. Let's take a look at what's going on in chat. Red Werewolf, thanks for 23 months. Sume with 50 bits says you might think this is a Rickroll, but
But it was I, Dio!
Fucking anime. And then I think that was it. Welcome, everyone. How's it going? Today we're going to watch more people getting catfished inexplicably in 2023. So, this should be interesting. Let's just jump into it. How about with another celebrity catfish, where someone thinks a celebrity is talking to them? This woman divorced her husband to be with one of the actors from Stranger Things, even though it's not really him. Poetic Fox, thanks for 6 months in advance. Wow.
That's with Stranger Things. But the thing is, when I tallied it all up, it was $10,000-ish.
So a thing a lot of the catfish people will do is they'll look if you are subscribed or following or comment in any fan pages. So like, let's say you had a Facebook page and you still regularly used it because you're over 40 years old. You might be connected to some fan pages or whatever, and a catfish will see that, a scammer will see that, and they'll go, okay, I'll pretend to be this person, in this case, person from Stranger Things, because they already know that their mark likes that actor or performer or whatever.
I told my ex-husband, I said, listen, I said, it's not working out. I said, you're not letting me be me. You're not letting me be free. I said, I think you need to leave.
You're not letting me be me, aka I wanted to suck the dick of that guy from Stranger Things.
He left. Within 2 months, he was gone.
What's up, Seekers? Welcome back to another episode of Scamfish presented by socialcatfish.com. Why does this famous guy need money from you, Michaela?
See, I wondered that too. Until he starts doing things that make me believe that he is who he is.
On today's episode, we speak to Michaela about her online relationship with the actor Dacre Montgomery, aka Billy from Stranger Things.
His first name is Dacre?
The two men
who looked at a baby and went, you know what this baby looks like? A Dacre. Dacre? Okay. Baycop says, yo, a lot of streamers are getting their own website so they can get a better share on bits and whatnot. Have you ever looked into this? I haven't. I don't trust myself to run that. I have too much ADHD. So, that's what Twitch gets paid for. It's for doing the stuff I'm too lazy to set up and do. Bumble Homestead, thanks for 100 bits.
Said on a forum over a year ago.
Simzoid, thanks for 24 months. Happy 2nd anniversary. 75% to level 1 on a hype train.
But have
He's Australian.
Never met in person.
Dacre is French.
She is now having doubts.
France isn't a real place. Stop perpetuating the lie that France is real.
It's about everything.
Gnome Pickle says, I shall name this child Dacre as I think he looks like he should be a pirate from the 1980s Sword and Sorcery movie.
After funding Dacre's life for over a year. Dacre claimed he needed money until he broke up with his girlfriend, and this was the only way he would be able to finally leave her to be with Michaela. Let's jump into it and see if we can help her out. Real quick, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your comment and like could help stop someone from being scammed. Let's get into it.
Someone says, hey, I'm French, we're real. Kind of. You're not real unless you get me cheese. Once you send me cheese from France, then I will accept the reality of your country.
My name is Kayla. Hi, Social Catfish. I'm an artist. I work in film and I do a lot of editing. I do a lot of production and stuff like that. I also act as a hobby, so that's pretty fun. So I'm on both sides of the camera there. I am
Shiroshi Shirio, thank you, or Shirio. Shiroshi Rio, thanks for 13 months. I'm good with names. I'm real good with your usernames.
A single mom from Kentucky. I have a daughter who's about to turn 7. I have been a single parent pretty much since she's been born. I'm separated from my husband. He's estranged, I guess you could put it that way. He lives over 500 miles away. We separated because he was very toxic.
Michaela has always been an artistic person.
Moira Soma, thanks for 25 months at tier 2, 66% to level 2.
During her marriage, she felt her husband was limiting her creativity, so she decided to express her art online.
It was
And, like, I'm not saying it's not true. He may have been an abusive asshole. I'm just genuinely curious, how is he suppressing your artistic whatever?
a forum. It was on Artist Forum.
She joined a forum where she could meet other creative people, and that's when it all began.
Anyone who has anything to do with art could be in it. This guy messaged me. He was under a different username. Me and him get to kind of talking, and then he admits that he is an actor, like a well-known actor.
I'm actually a celebrity that you might have heard of. I feel like no celebrity says that if they're talking to someone. I'm actually a celebrity you might have heard of.
And of course, here I am.
Not Johnny Depp, though, right? Oh my god, she gets it. She knows about the fake Johnny Depps.
I am thinking, oh, well, he's going to say he's Johnny Depp or something.
Because that would be ridiculous.
He tells me that he's Dacre Montgomery.
Which is apparently more likely for some reason.
That's like one of my favorite actors.
Wow, what a coincidence. It's almost like he knew that and picked that person specifically in order to target you. What a coincidence that you're a big fan of this actor, and he happened to anonymously contact you. What an amazing and unbelievable turn of events.
And me and him just really hit it off, but of course I'm suspicious from the get-go until he starts doing things that make me believe that he is who he is.
Upon receiving an email from Michaela, we arranged a call with her to delve deeper into the matter and gather
Thanks, Chicken Bacon Swiss. I hope you're having a good day, too.
additional information. We approached this interview like any other case. Our primary objective was to understand the underlying reason driving Michaela to think that this was the real Dacre.
I am obsessed with Stranger Things. Billy is just this bully. He kind of comes in, tries to dominate, which is totally unlike his actual personality.
What's the reason that you guys aren't able to meet
Wasn't he in the Nightmare on Elm Street remake? The bad one?
face to face?
Well, see, okay, that's one thing that
Is he racist? That's unfortunate.
we actually bonded over. And basically, through the relationship, he was venting to me after a few months about his partner.
Oh, like the character is racist, not the person?
Saying she's very controlling of him. He doesn't get to do the things
I haven't seen Stranger Things past season 1.
he wants to do. You know, she's always there. She's always got.
How did I go about finding a therapist? Just hooked up through your insurance or through a service? Looked online for local therapists in the area. Like psychology.com, I think, had a list of local therapists. And on her thing, it said, like, what insurance she takes. And I was able to find her through that. It's easier than ever these days because a lot of therapists will do like Zoom therapy or through some other video service. So it's pretty easy to find one these days. Relatively speaking, of course. I understand plenty of people can't for money reasons or lack of insurance. 66% to level 2, under 30 seconds left.
Got to supervise. And I kind of empathize with that because my ex-husband was that way. At about a year
That's great, Carpcosian. Glad it
after
went well.
we kind of admitted feelings for each other, he said, you know, there's nothing like, you know, the feeling of love when it's reciprocated. And I said, what? And he said, I'm indirectly asking you out.
I'm trying to ask you out. LOL, I want you to be my girlfriend. I want you to be my girlfriend. Is he in middle school? Aldera with 50 bits says boop.
And I
Thanks
was
for the level 1 hype train, everyone.
like, okay, well, I'm kind of stupid about this. I was like, what do you mean asking me out? And he said, I want you to be my girlfriend. And he was just like, but you got to keep it quiet. He said, because, you know, I'm still with Liv. And he was like, but I'm not technically with her. He said they had broken up.
Did he ever post anything that they were broken up at that time? Or
Let me guess, for publicity reasons, his publicist said, it's better if it looks like you're still with this person. That's the lie I'm gonna guess he went with. Baycop, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs, and First Name Bunch of Numbers, thanks for gifting a sub.
There were things I noticed. Basically, at the time that he said that they had broken up, he said they've been broken up for about 6 months. When I went back into his past history, like on his Instagram and things, the romantic sort of, flirty messages that they would send to each other, like, post about each other, had stopped within that time period. They weren't doing Valentine's Day posts. They weren't doing birthday posts. He wasn't posting about her. She wasn't posting about him. The only thing that I have seen in the last 2 years of those two posting about each other recently was a thing where she was posting about their 5-year anniversary.
A year of not talking.
Well, that would indicate that they're still together, isn't it? There's only a post about her talking about their 5-year anniversary. What do you mean only? That confirms they are and have been together for the last 5 years. That's not a just. That's demonstrable evidence against the thing you believe, but you're choosing to create some sort of weird reality warping bubble around it that creates, I don't know, it makes you think it's not evident? I don't know.
Talking to somebody on the phone is very long time, Michaela.
That is one thing that was a huge red flag to me, but at the same time, I kind of understood, because he said where she was so controlling of him and he couldn't get away from her, like she's glued at his hip, he wasn't able to call. He wasn't able to, video chat and stuff like that.
That's insane.
After commute,
They're both, like, he's an actor and did they say she's a model or she's also an actress? I don't know. Either way, they're both busy and in separate places. Like, I don't think they're together 24 hours a day.
communicating with him for months, Michaela had to make a choice. It was either her husband or Dacre. He told her this was the only way they could truly be together.
Because he gave me the ultimatum after we had been together for a little while. He gave me an ultimatum. He said, listen, he said, it's either your husband, he said, or it's me. And I said, look, there's no competition. I said, you treat me better. So I told my ex-husband, I said, listen, I said, it's not working out. I said, you're not letting me be me. You're not letting me be free. I said, I think you need to leave.
I want so much more information on the husband. Because again, I believe her. If she's saying he was abusive in some way or he was shitty, I believe that. In fact, that makes sense. People who are in shitty situations are more likely to be scammed, right? So I'm wondering if that was a factor, if she felt mistreated within that marriage or felt isolated in some way, and that drew her towards someone online who was willing to talk to her on her level, talk to her on her terms, even if they were, of course, scamming her.
So he left. Within 2 months, he was gone. My ex-husband is out of the house. I said, I'm separated from him. I said, there's no one here except for me and, my daughter, Rain. I said, it's just us. I said, now it's your turn. I was like, if you're going to be with me, I said, you have to make efforts. I said, even if those efforts are just getting, your own stuff away from her.
Dacre had agreed to leave his girlfriend to be with Michaela, but we wanted to know what exactly was making her think that this whole thing was real.
When Stranger Things season 4 came out, the day before it came out, he texted me and he said, hey, you need to watch episode 4. And he said, if you don't watch anything else, watch episode 4. And
oh god, is she just gonna QAnon, is she gonna pick any vague thing in the episode that could potentially be a signal to her?
When it came out the next day and he showed up in that episode. And I was like, well, who else would know that? And he would send me.
Often scripts for TV shows and movies are posted online in advance. They get leaked. Also, IMDb is a thing. So you can usually see, who's going to be in this episode? Who's credited in this episode and this episode? But, even if that's not the case, again, stuff leaks. Like, the entirety of some of the Star Wars movies leaked online. The scripts, I should say. Marvel movies, too. This happens. Also, I don't know if the international release, Broha says time zones. Possible. I don't know if Stranger Things released at the same time all over the world, or if it was released earlier in some territories. I don't know.
Poems.
There's about 1,000,001 ways that could be figured out prior to its release.
Which I am a poem reader. I've actually got his book here. And the poems that he was sending me are things that would go along with things like what his style of writing. And so that's another thing that kind of confused me.
Why does this famous guy need money from you, Michaela?
See, I wondered that too. And then he explained it. He said, if I try to use my bank account, she's over it. He said, it's, joint. He said, so she keeps all the stuff. And he said, so I would have to ask her all the time. And I understood that.
Fuck off with this.
Point too, because my ex was very...
Like, he's... I'm not going to pretend he's, like, the richest actor in the world. I don't know all the things he's been in, but he's in Stranger Things, which is, like, Netflix's most popular show of all time, right? It's one of the few shows they put on DVD and Blu-ray because it's just that popular. The guy has money, and it's definitely money that he could get separate from his girlfriend? What?
Very controlling over our money. Well, then it kind of went on for a few weeks, and then all of a sudden he came back. He said, would I be able to ask you to help me here and there if I decided to, separate from her? And
oh my God, why would you need to? He'd be getting residuals still or something from Stranger Things. I don't know if he gets any sort of thing from merch with his character on it. The guy isn't short for money. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I can't help much. I said, but I can help a little bit here and there. Before I knew it, it was turning into $100 and $200 gift cards. But
if anyone asks for gift cards, they're a scammer.
The thing is, when I tallied it all up, it was $10,000-ish.
There it is.
Dacre promised Michaela he would pay all of the money she sent to him. He wanted to disconnect from his girlfriend, Liv, and claimed he needed to open up another bank account without her knowing until the relationship completely ended.
That wouldn't even be hard to do. You can walk into a bank literally any day and be like, hello, I would like to open a bank account. And they'll be like, sure, let's do that. It's not arduous, is what I'm saying. Sume says, as someone who was catfished and stalked for 3 years, I hate this so much. Nothing to do with you, Hannah. I just hate I was this gullible when I was 15. Love you all, but I'm going to have to bow out for now. Okay, see you later.
Michaela was essentially funding Dacre's lifestyle for a year. He would even send her money in the form of gift cards and checks.
Basically, he would get the gift cards like how I used to do. Like, I would get gifted gift cards and stuff all the time, and I would sell them for less than what they were worth, and I would, pocket the money.
This is the thing that scammers will do to keep marks on the hook. Sometimes they will take money that's been given them by one of their other marks and give it to a different mark to make it look like they're giving money of their own back. It's sort of like a Ponzi scheme where they're just shuffling money between different marks, but none of them see the whole thing, so they don't know what's happening. Yeah, so she was a party to this, basically. She took those gift cards, which someone else bought, thinking it was for someone else that's being catfished. Oh, hydrate.
Well, that's kind of what he was doing. He said that he was going to start doing that so he could have a little bit of money for himself, like some pocket change. And he would, give them, and he would get money from them. And then he would...
So she's become a money mule. Unwittingly, she has become a money mule and participated in what are probable felonies.
Pocket them. Like, if it was like a $200 gift card, he'd sell it for like $100, and then he would have $100 in his pocket.
Yep, that's how money laundering works. She's describing money laundering. What she is describing is laundering money.
And when I done that, he wouldn't ask for money for another little while. So I was like, okay, if this is working, it's working for him, we'll just keep on doing that.
Michaela would deposit everything into her bank account and send it to Dacre through Bitcoin.
Wow, the most legitimate source of currency, Bitcoin. Oh, I forgot to bring the Bitcoin up here. Baha got a physical Bitcoin in something, and she gave it to me to put on the set because it's so funny and I like it. I forgot to bring it up. Next time.
And now you understand why I had to contact you guys, because I'm like, it's not the
What is this, a crossover episode?
typical scam.
Okay.
It's unique.
I mean, there's a lot of red flags here. It doesn't look the best. I'm gonna be honest.
Thank you. This is the Bitcoin.
That 1% is still that hopeless romantic that's just holding on to, maybe this is the gentle guy I've been looking for, and maybe he is real. Maybe he will, return and be like a knight in shining armor,
We'll look into things for you, Michaela, and we'll get back to you, okay?
All right, I appreciate it, guys.
The next day, our team got together to go
Put this up with the immortality rings.
over all of Michaela's information.
All right, so guys, this is Michaela. I know you guys had a chance to speak with her and look into her info. Any highlights?
I think one of the most compelling parts of this case and what made her believe that she was really talking to Dacre was the fact that he had details on Stranger Things season 4.
I think one thing we see like a lot with this and the Johnny Depp cases, I mean, it follows like a lot of the signs of romance scams. They're just trying to target younger people. So they're using celebrities, they isolate them. In her case, she had this marriage where, like, I think that, it was already in a situation where somebody could intervene because she had allowed it. But, this person gets involved, isolates her from her spouse, then, falls in love with her really quickly. We saw a lot of the conversations. They were very surface level types of conversations. So things already weren't going that well beforehand.
So how do we move forward with this? I know Michaela is eagerly waiting our answers.
Virginia and Bree started to dig into all of Michaela's information and hopefully get some clarity and some answers on Dacre.
So for Michaela's case, there's a lot of missing information, but we were able to get access to some of her chats.
Okay, so what are we thinking?
There's this one chat in particular where he was telling her about his day and that he made lasagna.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he actually made it or not, so we can definitely...
Why not? Does it look too delicious?
It looks too good. It looks way too good.
I gotta see this. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This is suspicious lasagna.
You see that?
Quick, someone reverse image search this lasagna.
Here's the lasagna. It looks good, huh?
It does look pretty good. I'm thinking I can just run a reverse image search
No, it doesn't look that good.
and see what we come up with.
It looks like standard American home lasagna. It's fine.
All right, let's do it.
Reverse lasagna search?
Love it.
Put that on the shirt.
Lasagna. Oh my gosh.
That's some mid-ass lasagna.
Martha Stewart lasagna.
Did you learn that in prison?
Exact.
Is it prison lasagna? What kind of prison wine does it pair with?
Photo.
What do you know?
Wait, you took it from Martha Stewart?
Looks like 80% sauce. Yeah.
Yeah.
Martha Stewart.
Martha
the
Stewart
Martha
recipe.
Stewart. The exact.
Clever guy. Did she send over anything else we could look into?
There's this picture of a check that I think that it's worth digging into.
Okay, let's see.
So this is the check that he sent her.
Mm.
And what's interesting is that it's a check made from her to her.
From Michaela to Michaela. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got.
How did she not catch that? Does she not know how checks work?
to run a
5,000.
search on this. I'm just gonna go to socialcatfish.com and drop a picture of the check and see if something comes up for the signature. All right. 354 matches found.
Whoa.
So it turned out to be fake?
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
Actually, that wasn't the most compelling factor for Michaela. The reason she truly believes she's talking to Dacre is the fact that he leaked the season 4, episode 4 title to her just the day before it dropped. Is there any way we can look into that?
titles for episodes get released all the time as promotion before the episodes come out.
I think we can.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like, that happens with Doctor Who. They intentionally release the episode names to kind of, like, make you go, ooh, what's that episode about? Not saying every show does that, I'm just saying it's possible.
Check this out. Stranger Things announces season 4 episode titles in new video. That was published November 2021.
Vindication.
But he told her about it in May of 2022.
So he could have
easily found this and manipulated it and made it look like he knew some insider information when this is public information. It got leaked. Months before.
Stick around until the end. We'll go over everything that we found to Michaela.
So why would he send you a fake check, though, with a fake signature?
I have no idea.
If you've made it this far, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. We appreciate you so much.
It was now time to sit down with Michaela and go over everything.
What's the line from Men in Black? Think about how stupid the average person is, and then remember that half of the people in the world are stupider than that.
Thing that we found.
Something like that.
Our team looked at every piece of information you sent over. We have answers today, and we have a conclusion.
Oh, that is a Carlin
Well,
line.
in a
You're right.
perfect world,
You're right.
it would be true, and maybe it would convince, the powers be to get help.
I want to first start off with some facts on Dacre. So he makes a
Sorry, in my head I was conflating it with the line from Men in Black where Kay is like, a person is smart, people are dumb, panicky animals. Something like that.
$150,000 per episode of Stranger Things. And they do about 8 episodes every season. When you do the math on that, I mean, he's not hurting for money.
But what his excuse was, we have a joint account, and every time I try to make a...
He could just change. He could go to payroll. I don't know. I assume actors get 1099s. I assume they're contractors. I don't know, though. Or are they employed for the duration of the shoot? I don't know how it works. Either way, I'm sure there's like a payroll department for Netflix he could have his agent talk to and change where his money gets direct deposited. Like, he could open a separate account and go to whoever he deals with this and go, hey, the account that I'm having you deposit my money into, put it in this account instead. It seems like a pretty basic, thing that you could do as a job. Like, you can do that at your work. You can change where your stuff gets direct deposited.
Purchase, she tries to take it back, and which I ran into that problem with my ex, so I kind of understood that. That's why I'm not going to immediately dismiss it, but at the same time, it was fishy.
Well, speaking of the relationship, we want to go over his relationship with Liv. We found that they've been together since 2017.
He told me that they broke up somewhere around 2020, I think. Okay. Like mid-2020, somewhere in there. And he also told me she was supposed to be moving to his apartment January of the following year, 2021, and he did not. So that was the first.
I want to be honest, kind of regardless of everything else going on here and how fake it was, imagine for a second that it actually is the guy. Dacre, whatever. Let's pretend she is actually talking to him. The fact that he's not leaving his girlfriend for years after talking to you would still be a red flag. Like, again, everything else aside, pretend it's really him, even though it's obviously not. Even if it was, he would still be using you. God damn it.
Red flag. Major red flag.
Okay.
Especially I seen that they had posted, well, I can't remember who had posted. I think it was one of their friends had posted a photo of in their new house in LA. And when I confronted him about it, he was like, oh, well, pretend and we have to make 9 million people or whatever think that we're together or else someone's going to know something's wrong. And then that's going to look bad on me. So
when you compare the time...
Celebrities break up all the time It's not a big deal generally. And no offense to the Dacre guy, but it's not like he's Brad Pitt, you know? I'm sure it would be on the cover of magazines. Do people read magazines anymore? I'm sure it would be on celebrity whatever gossip things like, oh, Dacre and what the fuck, her face split. What now? But like, that doesn't stop people from breaking up necessarily.
Timelines in which he was saying those things to you, the internet says a completely different story. You know, we found articles all over the internet, them on the news, them in interviews, that shows that they have a healthy relationship.
We weren't able to find any evidence that Dacre's relationship with his girlfriend Liv was toxic in any way. It was true that Dacre and Liv do take long breaks of posting each other on social media. But this was just another way the scammer was able to manipulate Michaela into believing their relationship was rocky.
So we do want to dive into some of the searches that we ran. Can you tell me more about what the backstory on the check is?
Sorry.
Okay, so he had been paid apparently for, and he had his accountant send some money and a check, and he said, "Can you get it cashed for me?" And I said, "Well, I cash it, you know, it's not my check." And he said, "Well, if it gets put into this account," and he is like, "and then I take it out, could you cash it before she would have time to stop it?" And I was like, "Well, I guess."
Oh, good. She's aiding money laundering again? Great.
I was like, I don't know what to do with it, you know? So I did it. I bank account and I deposited the check. I said that I got paid for something, and so I gave it to them, and then they ran it, and then of course I said keep it. I said I want my account frozen until that check clears, and it didn't clear, of course.
When we ran the signature at the bottom right hand corner of the check, we got some hits on that signature.
When we ran a reverse image search on this check, we found hundreds of fraudulent checks all over the internet with this same exact signature. The scammer just photoshopped the signature into the check and sent it to Michaela.
When these scammers create a fake check, they'll use this specific signature a lot.
Yeah, I figured that.
So why would he send you a fake check though, with a fake signature?
Does that ever work? Why do they even try that? Everything's done through computers now. Like, how do they think that's gonna work?
I have no idea. That was one of the first things to throw up a red flag for me.
So we also looked into some of the chat conversations you sent us. One of the main things that stood out to us from those chats is the picture of the lasagna he sent you. Michaela.
We found the smoking lasagna.
He didn't make this lasagna. We actually found it in Martha Stewart's cookbook.
Holy fuck. She's dating Martha Stewart?
This image is all over the internet, and this recipe is actually pretty popular.
So that's where it came from. I was about to say, I was like, that does not look like, it kind of looks like it, but at the same time, I'm like, fishy.
Yeah, so basically he went on to Martha Stewart's internet cookbook, screenshotted this photo, and when you asked him a question, he said he was too busy because he was working on this or making this lasagna. And all he did was just steal that from there and then send it to you.
I knew that whoever it was, either they were pretty good at cooking or they got it from somewhere, and I did nowhere. So
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Everyone in this show is talking about how good that lasagna looks. I don't think it looks that good.
We kind of figured that one.
And I've had some pretty good lasagnas in my day. Like homemade ones. I don't think that picture looked good. I feel like I'm being catfished by the fucking lasagna.
Due to the fact that this guy sent you so many things that are from so many different places all over the internet, we come to the conclusion that you're speaking to what's called a romance scammer. He's done research on you. He's looked at your backstage profile, your Facebook, and he's basically morphing himself into this person that you want him to be, and also attaching Dacre Montgomery's photos to that profile.
Scammers spend hours and days researching an individual
The show is
before
not sponsored by Martha Stewart.
attempting to extract any money from them. Their objective is to identify the target's vulnerabilities. They spend days delving into every aspect of their lives. The purpose of their research is to establish a connection with their victims. They'll exploit sensitive situations such as the aftermath of a divorce or the loss of a friend or a family member. It's a strategy that scammers have been using for years.
Okay, I hadn't told him anything about my toxic ex-husband, and he just kind of vented about that, about him and his girlfriend's issues or whatever.
Thank you, Cthulhu Flower.
So I kind of sympathize with that. And when he told me that, I was like, well, that's kind of like how me and are like around people. Like, I didn't tell him that, but I said, I was just thinking around people, we act like we're the perfect family. Like, we've got, the kid, we've got the apartment together, we've got car together, we've got all this, picket fence kind of.
To the tune of my Sharona. Mid lasagna. Are you Weird Al?
Looking.
Weird Al already did that. My Bologna. He already did that one.
Family.
You're like 5 decades late.
You close the door, it's nothing, it's everything but. It's literally like, it's toxic, it's narcissism, it's just everything bad. So I was like, I kind of understand that from that angle. But again, he didn't even know that at first. That's why I was like, I'll kind of keep this as my ace in my pocket. But I kind of understood that angle because I was coming from a spot like that.
Does Weird Al own lampooning songs? No, but he's one of the only people who does it well.
It's something that I can't really describe. It's like someone would just have to feel it to understand it.
This scammer targeted all of Michaela's vulnerabilities, tapping into her desire for creative, attractive.
Everything in the picture screams it was made for a photo, not for eating. Maybe it's me. I like a lasagna with a little bit of burnt cheese. Not a lot, just around the edges. It gets a little crispy, That's the kind of lasagna I like. Don't know if that's crazy. I liked the Weird Al biopic. It was funny. It was the right way to do a Weird Al biopic, I think.
And a tentative companion. The deception reached a deeper level when he shared his own struggle with his toxic relationship. Not to mention, he was her favorite actor on her favorite TV show.
So I've watched a lot of y'all's Scamfish episodes, and all the comments, there's so many comments saying, how could these people fall in love with these total strangers and send them money and blah, blah, blah. In my case, I'm just like, I just hope that it goes to help somebody.
It's not. It's not.
But as far as how can you fall in love with these people, I'm just like, love makes you do crazy, stupid, irrational things. I promise. And trauma does one heck of a thing to a person. So instead of judging that person on why they done that to a total stranger that they had never met.
Money. They're doing it to get your money. You sent them $10,000.
Maybe, just kind of look and see if that person's ever been traumatized by something. Because if you're someone like me, you're afraid of abandonment. And you're a real big people pleaser. And you're very codependent. So it's like, maybe these people have these problems.
Maybe. Primarily, though, they were trying to get your money. And like, I understand the whole, truism of, hurt people. I get that. But, fundamentally, they were after your money, and they got it. They won. I'm glad you can come up with some personal narrative about it. That's fine. Fundamentally, what happened was not poetic or telling about you or them. You got scammed. They took your money. It's unfortunate. Learn from it.
And these scammers, they just kind of come in and they leech off that. It's a dopamine fix every time you wake up, every time you go to bed, several hours a day. It's a fix. It's a hit. Honestly, I think...
According to the Muppets Mayhem, Weird Al currently wrote 80 original songs. Some of his originals are great. Dare to Be Stupid, which is more of a style pastiche of Devo. That's really good.
You guys are...
Everything You Know Is Wrong is pretty good.
great. You've been fantastic to talk to. It seems like you guys actually do your research, which is great, because I sure couldn't do it. Like the lasagna photo, I could not have found that. I wouldn't have even thought to look into Martha Stewart cookbook. But I think that the team's been great. You guys have been great to just talk to and work with, and very professional, very thorough.
I'm kind of surprised a person this young didn't know how to do a reverse image search. Like, this person isn't a boomer. Like, they're a millennial, it looks like. They didn't know how to reverse image search.
And I can't say much more that hasn't already been said. I mean, you guys have done everything, and I'm very appreciative of it, because now it's like there's no longer any sort of wiggle room anywhere.
Well, Michaela, we appreciate you so much. We really enjoyed, talking to you and helping you through this whole thing. We hope that you just stay safe online. Remember, anytime anybody asks you for money, it's 10 times out of 10, it's a scam. So just try to stay safe, okay?
Will do.
Well, there's one.
He was just an interesting person, and we seemed to click.
First name bunch of numbers with 50 bits says, I don't think she said scammers do scams because they have trauma. She said that people fall for these scams because of the trauma. That was what I got out of it anyway. She said she does, but she was also saying that she felt that people who perpetrate said scams might have had things happen to them that allow them to do so. But it was definitely also self-reflecting. It was both. At least that was what I heard.
I've invested a lot in this relationship so far.
How does one reverse image search? Sure, let's go. Google Images. You can also just search, like reverse images. So you see in Google Images up... Oh, you guys can't see. Let me change this a little bit. Okay. So you see this, I think it's this button, right? Let me double check. This has changed a little bit since and I don't know what I have saved to my downloads, so let me make sure I don't show you anything I shouldn't. Okay, that's fine. I'll show you. One sec. So if you're in Google Images, this is what you do. You go up to the search bar, and you see there's some different things. There's a magnifying glass for search, there's a microphone if you want to verbally say something into the search bar, and there's also this little camera looking thing. You click on that, and now you can either drag an image into the box, for instance like this. You could drag this over here and it would reverse image search, or you can upload a file, which will allow you to look through files saved to your computer and reverse image search them. Let's I don't know. What's something? Give me. I don't even know. Let me pull something that I'll put an image into reverse search. How about it? Okay, so here's an image of Waluigi as a stained glass guy, right? Brings up, it knows it's Waluigi. They can't find that specific image. Oh no, it did. It did. It found it on Reddit. See? Right down there. So it found the exact websites that you could find it from, etc. So that's how you do a reverse image search. It's incredibly easy, quick, free. You can do it at any point.
Bar.
Can we look at lasagna? Sure. Lasagna images. Let's just look at some lasagna porn. See, this looks like a good lasagna to me. This, it's got a little browning on it. Like, just a little, you know? The browning, you can see the meat. I think this looks like a good-ass lasagna. Not that Martha Stewart shit. Anyway.
And we do get along really well.
Yeah, I want lasagna now, too. Good for me. I at least have frozen lasagnas at home, so I could make some lasagna.
I mean, if all
Not gonna be great, but it's fine.
this baggage was resolved and his story was true, I think that we would be a good couple.
Hello? What's up, Seekers? Welcome.
Free unless you use the website these people plug in their videos. They'll charge you to do what Google does for free because they're also kind of running a grift scam on these same victims. True. They're definitely offering a service that really isn't necessary if you know basic things about how this works. I think they'd be better off just running this as a YouTube channel and just giving people tips on how to do this themselves. I think they'd do better. Having it all wrapped as an ad for their website, I think, hurts them. But whatever. Baycop says, sorry for the grammatical correction, Hannah, but it's pronounced lasagna. If I'm not mistaken, it's okay, no one is perfect.
Back to another episode of Scamfish presented by socialcatfish.com.
He was nabbed in the Singapore airport for...
One time, I made a lasagna, and Lou wanted it so bad.
Overstaying his visa.
She didn't get any, because she's a cat, and Jim Davis is a fucking liar.
And now he's in the immigration system. So now they're asking for $11,000 in bail money to get him out.
On today's episode, we help a woman named Nancy who met a man named Sean on the dating app Silver Singles. Sean has promised to meet Nancy in person countless times, but something always seems to come up. Nancy has been funding this man's life for a year now. She's dished out over $25,000 to help pay Sean's taxes, supplies for an engineering contract in
Does she want to pay my taxes? That'd be great.
Singapore, and even helped bail him out of jail twice. Nancy is having doubts about this man being who he claims to be after running a reverse image search and finding a man's photos that looks identical to Sean's. Tune in as we help her find out the truth about this man she's been planning a future with. Real quick, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your comment and like could help stop someone from being scammed. Let's get into it.
Okay, hi Social Catfish, my name is Nancy. I like to rescue things on the weekend when I'm off. I've bought a few houses that were foreclosed and brought them back to their charming baseline. So that could be furniture, it could be houses in distress.
Carpkosian says you could be like me and not pay taxes. My income is tax-free. Do you work at a church? Are you a pastor? How does that work?
Or it could be something vintage that needs to come home.
Could also just be the country you're in doesn't do income tax, I guess.
Maybe. So I was married for about 15 years, was divorced after my husband went overseas and was stepping outside of our marriage. He was on Match.com. He listed that he was separated, living with friends. He was dating women in Costa Rica while he was there for business. So we split.
Oh, it's disability.
Divorced. And then I stayed in the U.S. to raise the children, and he stayed down in Costa Rica. You know, he was probably out catting around, and I was home with kids believing his story. So, you know, my focus was the kids and making sure that they grew up as close to normal as possible. I sacrificed for everybody for decades, so I decided, me time. I have a stable career, I'm educated, I've got my teeth, you know.
Overthought says, maybe it's my own view of myself, but I find it wild that ordinary people think randos want to get a hold of them. Something super narcissistic about it, like, of course they want to talk to me, of course I'm the one to fix their issues. I would pose this question to them. How many times out of the blue have you seen someone on Facebook or something and said, I want to talk to this random stranger. I don't know them, but I want to talk to them. It doesn't happen. Not usually. Doesn't happen in the reverse.
I have all the prerequisites and I'm by myself, so I haven't quite figured out why that should be. And I don't understand, you know, why a bright, accomplished woman is not attractive.
After several unsuccessful relationships, Nancy finally met someone who caught her eye on the dating app Silver Singles.
His name is Sean. His photo caught my eye. He was very attractive, and he wrote well. I guess that's one of my
How did we meet again? No, you knew me from the internet show, though.
prejudices. When someone is writing their profile and things are spelled wrong, it's an instant turnoff. That, couldn't you use spell check or double check or make sure that you wrote something intelligible before you posted it? So, his responses were well crafted. If I mention famous sayings by Winston Churchill or something and someone can quip back at me, that's attractive. That, oh, okay, you know who Winston Churchill is and understand.
Premise, revenge is best served cold. Premise B, revenge is sweet. Conclusion, revenge is ice cream. Thoughts? I don't know Klingon for that makes sense, but that makes sense.
And how important he was to history. Something like that. When you go home and you want to talk about your day, you want to talk to your intellectual equal. He was just an interesting person and we seemed to click. He's very attractive, he works out, and he's got a good flair for dressing, the few pictures that I've seen. Looks like he was a little heavier at one point. He has a beard, silver hair, a graying beard, hazel eyes. He told me that his undergraduate degree was in civil engineering.
Hydrate.
He's 5'10", according to his passport. He's tells me that he's 54. He was born in 1969. He said he'd been cheated on. He caught his wife with someone else. He was born and raised in Sweden.
Seems like a strategy for a lot of these people is mirroring. So if someone is in an abusive relationship, they'll say they're being abused. If someone was divorced, they'll say they're divorced. If they were cheated on, they'll say they were cheated on. It's to try and artificially create some kind of commonality between the two. Like, oh, I know what you're going through because I've been through it too.
And came to the United States after his divorce. He wanted a fresh start. One of the positive things was he was reliable. If he said he was going to call at night or text at night, he did. And then he would text in the morning. So he talked about romantic things, rose petals and glass of wine and chocolate and things like that. And yes, he was funny, made me laugh with some of his observations, and also was observant about me that, you need to have some fun, which is true. You've missed fun for years and I need to show you how to have fun again. Someone took the time to think about what makes me tick. Was refreshing. I love you and can't wait to see you and look forward to our forever beginning, things like that. We're not super young anymore and let's not waste time, and not pushy per se, but didn't seem to want to dance around and play games. He felt like Prince Charming, but I was still cautious. Was he a prince or a fraud? I wasn't sure.
If things are too good to be true, most likely they are. It's unfortunate, but it's also an idiom for a reason.
After a few weeks of chatting, Sean had checked all the boxes for Nancy, intellectually and romantically. The two planned to meet in person. However, plans were changed when Sean was offered an engineering contract.
Buttershave says the conversations these people fall in love from are always such trite, surface-level, childish nonsense. How is this working? Lonely people are very lonely, and any kind of affirmation, positive, like compliments, saying nice things, it can be addictive. If you're someone who's very starved for attention, if you're starved for that kind of intimacy of just like having a person care about you, talk to you, want to talk to you, to say nice things about you, it's an addiction. People like that. People like to feel like someone wants them, like they want to feel liked or loved. So even if it's surface level and trite, it's better than them sitting at home alone all the time. And again, I understand it's a scam, so it's bad, but that's how those people feel. They feel like it's their only option.
Singapore.
Landed a contract for a hotel in Singapore, a 600-room hotel with multiple ballrooms, and he was going to do the renovation. But there was a tight timeline.
I'm good, Gregory Term. How you doing?
Between construction and interior work.
Progressive Aunt says, I was starved for male attention when I was 18 and older guys saw it and took advantage of me. That's true. That happens. And I know that there's a stereotype about, like, mommy issues or daddy issues. And I know that's like a meme, but, like, the reason it exists is because sometimes when we don't feel we're getting adequate, like, I don't know, love, attention from parents, that can make you lash out, and it can make you seek that attention elsewhere. It happens. Rem Diaz, thanks for following.
He had $45,000 in the bank. He sent me a screenshot of the balance, but said that he was going to come up short and didn't want.
Baycop 2027, thanks for 26 months, says, yo, I passed 2 years. Dope.
To miss out on this $3 million contract, and asked if I would float him a loan until he finished the job, he'd be paid, and he'd pay me right back. So I gave him $3,000. And he was going to pay me back the 1st of August. Okay, so next he's supposed to come home. He showed me a check that he was paid for the work that he did, and he sent me an itinerary to come home. So of course I was very excited. I bought balloons and cake and, was waiting for him to come home. And then lo and behold, there's a tax that he has to pay. A 15% tax on the $3 million that he earned. And
it's literally the Nigerian prince scam. I have X amount of dollars, but I need some smaller amount of money to access bigger amount of money. If you give me small amount of money, I will give you part of bigger amount of money to pay back with interest. They never give you the money. They just want your money.
Didn't have it. So he gave them what he did have. He sold his car, he told me, and he sold a watch, a Rolex watch that he had. And so then I ended up pitching in for the hotel and his food and...
No, she's not cheating on a spouse or anything. You're allowed to feel bad for her.
Things like that. So he could survive until he could pay off this debt. Well, he would say, can I have 250? Can I have 500? Can I have, can I have?
Can I have $250, universe? I'll take it.
Because I'm hungry. I feel faint. I'm so hungry. I haven't eaten in a day. And they're going to kick me out of the hotel. And where am I going to go?
Sean claimed he was going to work as hard as he could to finish his job after receiving the
Gregory Turn with 250 bits says, no, but here's 250 bits. Even better. Because it came from a fan.
$1,000 from Nancy. Once he was done, he would be on his way back to the United States to start his life with her. But he ran into even more problems later down the line.
So he said he was detained. So he needed...
No, they don't catch the catfishes in this show. They report him to the police, but they don't, actually find them because often they're in another country.
To be bailed out of detention, he needed to pay an attorney, and he wanted money for a flight home. Go on to the next chapter then. So after he got out of detention over not paying the tax completely, then in March he was coming home. He sent me another itinerary. All the bills were paid. He was going to come back. His money was in a check form that could be deposited in the United States.
I don't know if that's what HSBC checks look like. I don't know, but it looks so not right to me.
I watched the plane landing in the various airports, and
it said like United States dollars only. Like, that's a weird thing to put on a check.
I didn't hear from him. I didn't hear from him during the flights. I didn't hear from him after supposedly he landed.
Despite Nancy helping Sean out and raising the money for the 15% tax to get him out of Singapore, more problems arise as Sean gets detained for not fully paying the debt off in time.
Next thing, I get an email from his attorney saying that he was nabbed in the Singapore airport for overstaying his visa.
You won't believe this.
And now he's in the immigration system.
You overstayed your visa, so we're gonna hold you here even longer, even though you were about to leave. Why?
So now they're asking for $11,000.
Seems like they just extradite you
in bail money to get him out.
After sending $25,000 to get Sean home, Nancy became suspicious, and she started
It would have been a good time to get suspicious prior to that.
Look for answers. Her cousin was able to find a man's Instagram profile that looked identical to the photos of Sean. Yet Nancy is still unsure if it is actually him.
Initially, the pictures that he used on his profile, I had a cousin in his 30s reverse look them up, and they belong to an art dealer from Massachusetts. So, but then more recent pictures don't look like that person, so I'm not sure there.
That absolutely looks like the same guy. She's just deluding herself into believing what she wants to believe and see what she wants to see. It's clearly the same man.
I would never hurt anybody that way, and I would hope that this person that I do like his company would not scheme to hurt me. He promised he'd never break my heart and he'd never hurt me.
He's lying. People lie. People lie about things that people shouldn't lie about. People will say to your face that they care about you, and it might not be true. People will, like, scam you on the internet and lie to you and take advantage of your feelings because people don't expect people to do that. Because it's such a terrible thing to do.
I'd like to give him the benefit of the doubt. And we do get along really well. I mean, if all this baggage was resolved and his story was true, I think that
it's a big F.
We would be a good couple.
These are some of the items that Nancy provided. Obviously, the main image that she sent was this one here.
I think one of the dead giveaways was the neck area, how it's blurred and it's not
the
matching the
neckline of the
face.
shirt.
Yeah.
It's a little blurry.
Yeah. Something that we heard her say over and over is that she really enjoyed taking care of people, rescuing things. She enjoys rescuing furniture, animals. So it just sounds like she has a really big open heart and she loves to give and take care of people.
He's also molding to her preferences. He told her that he's 64 when obviously this man looks at most, this man looks 45.
I've seen other images like this where there's a man behind bars. I think you've seen a few, Virginia? Yeah.
It literally looks like a B-roll stock photo. Like, what did a prison guard take that photo for him? Like, how did they get that slice of life prison photo of him just hanging out in the cell?
Dealt with a lot of romance scams that end up where their lover ends up behind bars, needs X amount of funds or money sent to them to release them from prison. So this is a story we hear often.
Nancy received tons of
it's a posed photo. Again, like did he go, "Hey, prison guard man, would you please take a photo of me like this for my girlfriend?" That way she'll know I'm badass and in prison. It does look like a promo pic from a porn.
Photoshopped items from Sean.
Who's the porn star that's like he's bald, he's a bald white guy, and he's memed because he's like in so many different professions and different porns? Reminds me of that guy.
But the biggest issue was, why did she still believe this could be true after finding this man's profile?
Johnny Sins. I want to point out that took 4 seconds for you to figure out. You knew that off the top of your head. 4 seconds. I specifically in my head, I was like, I'm going to count because I wonder how long it'll take for my degenerate audience to identify a male porn star based off of a very vague... You did it. Congrats. You knew that in 4 seconds. And that's not including how long it took to type. So you just knew that. You just knew Johnny Sins. Good for you.
We did some digging to make sure that, in fact, Curtis was the real man in these photos.
So I just talked to Nancy, very nice lady. She's talking to this guy named Sean.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, he's in jail. And there's proof that he's in jail because she sent us pictures.
Of him in jail?
Yes.
I gotta see this. Okay,
yeah,
show
yeah.
me.
Sean beat up in jail. Sean behind bars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, well, so I'm gonna reverse image search. 37 exact matches.
No way. Oh, look.
Oh, these pictures are everywhere.
It's Photoshop within a Photoshop. Within a Photoshop. Oh, they're from stock images.
There it is.
They're
my stock. Let me see if I can actually find the man in the images.
Okay.
Oh, 254 matches. Look at this. There he is.
Ooh.
Here.
It is.
Oh, he's a photographer. That's the exact image that she sent us. There it is. Good work.
We were able to verify this profile, and it was in fact...
Riverboat Jack, thanks for raiding. Welcome, raiders. I am Hannah. I am a trans leftist variety streamer. Today we're taking a look at the world of people being catfished, why they get catfished, how romance scammers go about trying to hook people, all sorts of stuff. So, how's it going? Welcome. Give me a follow if you like. Can we get a shout out for Jack in the chat? Thank you. Definitely go check Jack out.
The real man. This person posing as a man named Sean had taken all the photos he sent to Nancy from Curtis's Instagram page. Curtis's Instagram profile was filled with images and videos of...
Unrelated, but you'll like this video. No need to show it on stream. I'll judge you anyway. What is it? Who's this about?
Sadly, they got divorced.
Okay, I'll check this out later. I like this channel, so I'll probably like it. Lennon Cat says, hey now, Hannah, I remember his name because of that fake doctor Twitter account that used his profile pic to spread ludicrous anti-vax stuff to troll the right wing. I'm sure that's why. I'm sure that's why.
Of him speaking.
Morning, everybody. Curtis here, Cusp Gallery, Newport, Rhode Island. I just want to say thanks, everybody, for your online support over the last several months. It's been a crazy, tough, long winter. Real quick, we plan on opening April 28th. However, we got to go to a town hall hearing on April 24th.
Wow, can you believe he's not actually in prison? Crazy. For those who are just coming in from the raid, a woman, was she a nurse? Was she a nurse or a doctor? I think a nurse. Has been talking to a guy who she thinks is this guy, but in reality it's a scammer who has stolen his images in order to catfish her. Nurse? Thought so.
To find out if we're allowed to open on April 28th because we don't have any parking. So,
we wanted to match up their voices, so Chris from our team gave Sean a call.
Hello. Please state your name after the tone, and Google Voice will try to connect you.
Chris.
The Google subscriber you have called is not available.
I love that he's in the phone. Is Sean, scammer.
Hello?
Hey, sweetheart. Did you receive the 11,000 I sent you? Talk to me.
He immediately is like, sus.
All we got from Sean was a hello. But that was more than enough confirmation to understand that these two people were not the same.
Hello?
Stick around until the end. We'll sit down with Nancy and go over everything that we found.
So the passport Sean sent you is a fake and has been photoshopped.
Okay, that doesn't surprise me.
We'll even bring Curtis in on a call with Nancy to help her disconnect from Sean.
This is just depressing. This is so sad.
Nancy, first of all, I'm Curtis.
I've seen you before.
Yeah, I'm sure. Just to give you a little background on what I've been contending with for the last 4 to 5 years.
If you've made it this far, don't forget to like.
I do like that they bring on the person whose image has been stolen so they can kind of talk about it.
Comment and subscribe, guys. We appreciate.
Have I decided on whether or not I'm going to start a film appreciation stream? I've done a couple episodes already. We covered all the Marvel movies I own. We did a horror movie stream. So yeah, I do it occasionally, and I hope to do more in the future.
Appreciate you so much.
It was now time to sit down with Nancy and go over everything that we had found.
When was the last time you spoke to Sean?
Yesterday. He's supposed to be in immigration detention, so just the one time when he got his phone back.
I just want to let you know that our team has done a bunch of research on all of the stuff that you sent us, and we have answers today.
Oh, it would be lovely if you would tell me that there's been a mistake and he's really a prince who's been locked away in a dungeon for quite a while, and you can be the gal to save him.
How do I feel about the movie Waterworld? I like Waterworld. It's not like a great movie, but it's fun enough. Gives me it's not as good Mad Max with boats. It's fine. Kevin Costner's not good, but he's Kevin Costner. What do you expect?
Would be nice.
So let's just.
Waterworld's actually being released on 4K Blu-ray by Arrow Video soon in the next couple months.
Just started off with the passport. We actually found the exact passport. What we did was we ran a reverse image search on the actual
Waterworld for Virtual Boy is dope. Fun fact, Waterworld for Virtual Boy was developed by the studio Ocean, which is apt.
Image found within the passport. And
what do I think of the 2 Hellboy films? I enjoyed them. It would have been nice if Guillermo had gotten to do the 3rd one he wanted, but instead we got that terrible remake with David Harbour. Nothing against David Harbour. That was just a bad Hellboy movie.
And the exact passport with all the information included that Sean presented to you was found on a fake passport website.
Okay.
So the passport Sean sent you is a fake and has been photoshopped.
Okay. That doesn't surprise me.
You had a promotional... had this huge promotional banner for Waterworld. I saved it for years, but had to throw it out. Got ruined. Was it water damage?
Since we're looking at Sean's images, we looked at the images from him being in prison.
Yes.
So we use reverse image search tools for the Sean in prison image, and we found matches right away. The real image shows another man behind bars.
I'll take a look later, Spokane Phoenix.
Basically, this confirms that these images have been photoshopped and they're not real images.
Okay, so both of them, both the one where he's beaten up and the one in the orange jumpsuit.
Yes.
Okay.
These are like really common photos used in scams. We found images all over the internet. There's a link to a page where there's 50 or 60 of different photoshops of this photo.
Of the same exact. It's almost like they use it as like a background and then they put someone else's face.
Ah.
It's fucking Zelensky. Her catfish boyfriend pulls off a mask. It was me, leader of Ukraine, all along.
Yeah, I noticed the hands were different. Like the hands were swollen in the one with the bars and the other one. Okay.
Up until this point, you could tell Nancy had already come to terms with Sean being a scammer. Now, the only thing that was left to do was...
Asset from Shape of Water versus Abe Sapien. I gotta go with the asset from Shape of Water. I love Shape of Water. That movie's beautiful. I love it.
To get her to understand that...
Though I do like Abe.
Every photo she received from Sean were photos of Curtis.
We ran several image searches and we were able to locate the man in these photos. He's actually standing by right now.
Oh.
Would you like to meet him?
Sure. Which pictures?
The person in the images.
Okay. All right.
Hello?
Hi.
Oh, God, you can see in her eyes, she has a sliver of hope that he's gonna be like, "Hi, honey." Closure's good.
Hi, Curtis.
How's it going?
Good, how are you? This is Brienne from Social Catfish.
Let's see if we can pinpoint the second her hope dies.
Hi, good to see you.
Oh, it's fading. It's fading.
And then we have Nancy in attendance.
Nancy, first of all, I'm Curtis.
I've seen you before.
Yeah, I'm sure. Just to give you a little background on what I've been contending with for the last 4 to 5 years. I've reported to Instagram alone.
It feels like it's fading slowly. There's not an exact moment. Sad.
Just under 450 accounts using my pictures.
Wow.
Instagram.
It's dead. So I don't know exactly where in there she lost it. Let's see. Let's drag this back a little bit. Okay. I think it's right around the wow. Like here. I think when she closes her eyes, that's when it's happening. She's like, "All right, I'm accepting it. This is real, and I've been tricked for sure." I think the before and after.
Wow.
Yep.
Instagram. I'm not on any other apps. I'm not on any dating apps. I'm not.
Why do I find it fascinating to observe human misery? What's wrong with my brain?
Not on Facebook. Anything like that.
Oh yeah, she's trying to be polite too, which is a shame because I'm sure inside she wants to cry, you know?
Instagram's response to me is automated, and it says, "We do not see how these go against our community guidelines. If you want to see less of this person's profile, just block them or restrict them." So they're not doing their due diligence in protecting their users. It's gone so far.
Why do people like to look at car crashes? Because they watched the David Cronenberg movie Crash and learned something about themselves. Cassifel says obligatory.
Watch this, Lise. You can actually pinpoint the second when his heart rips in half.
I'm so glad when people understand the bits I'm doing, it's beautiful. Do you know how many times I'm doing a bit where, like, it's based on a show or something and people don't get it? I just let it go.
And now.
Beautiful.
As to me being called into 4 police stations in 4 different states, what that has done to me is it's pretty much driven my business into the ground because it's compromised my integrity as an artist and a business owner. I can only wish that people do their due diligence on their end, but these scams have gotten so sophisticated, and this AI thing has been introduced. So I wish there was something I could do. Obviously, I keep reporting it to people that don't even care. So it was nice to get this phone call from Social Catfish, and I mean, not necessarily in this respect to you, but it's nice to put almost this video together that I can put on my social media. So it just began right before you called. Some woman said she's in Scotland. She's confused as if she's talking to the real Curtis or somebody else, and so on and so forth. So I told her to Google.
Oh yeah, she tapped out mentally a while ago. She's not listening at all. And I don't blame her. She's psychologically reeling, I'd imagine, from finding out she sent a random scammer $25,000. And that, like, this entire relationship she had built up in her head is fantasy. It's a fiction. It's really sad. She's probably disassociating pretty hard right now. Been there.
Google me, to Google my gallery, to Google me as an artist, and whatever. So
I'd probably have like an anxiety attack right on camera. It would not be good.
Well, this is the first.
Do they always believe it, or do some deny it? Some deny it. We've watched a couple of these where the person is still in denial. One person actually was on this show twice, and after the second time they gave up because she just wouldn't admit it, and also she was racist. So
first time you've actually
fuck her
video chatted. Are you having like a moment where this is surreal?
No, because I'm familiar with Curtis, so it's not like I've never seen him before. So
you're familiar with images of him.
Just confirms that Sean is not Sean and he's actually Curtis, and the pictures were a little different but still the same person.
But they weren't different at all. Like those were of him though, right?
Yeah, I think so. But like I said, when you're in denial, even though I am an intelligent person. You know, I look at the nose and think, well, that one's a little broader, and maybe the hair's a
We see what we want to see sometimes. I see this with flat earthers a lot when we're covering flat earth people. Sometimes they'll look at something and be like, see, it's clearly flat, but then you look at it and it doesn't look that way. People see what they want to see.
a little different. I'm not sure. You start doubting yourself that, yeah, your mind sort of, I guess, endorses a picture that it wants to see.
Even after video chatting Curtis, we felt Nancy was still a bit confused on how Sean was able to steal these photos. Unfortunately, we live in a time where you can be anyone you want
Hats off, Polly. What do you want me to wear for the hats off?
online. Social media sites are free to sign up for, and you can attach anyone's image to a profile.
Curtis, we appreciate you so much, man. We love when influencers and victims of this type of scam come forward and they're able to join us on these calls. I hope it helped you too, Nancy. And Curtis, like I said, we can't thank you enough.
All right, y'all. Thank you.
Time.
Bye.
Thank you.
So, what does the future hold for you and Sean?
Casfell, what do you want me to look up in Black's Law Dictionary?
Well,
Denial. Okay. Where'd I put that dang book? Dang it, Bobby, where's my book? Hydrate. God dang it. Let me find it. Where's the book? I'm disorganized today. Wow. I'm just gonna have to look it up on the internet. Denial. Law Dictionary. I'm sorry. Law.com. Denial, a statement in the defendant's answer to a complaint in a lawsuit that an allegation, claim of fact, is not true. If a defendant denies all allegations, it is called a general denial. In answering, the defendant is limited to admitting, denying, or denying on the basis he, she, it has no information to affirm or deny. The defendant may also state affirmative defenses.
You know, interestingly, I didn't hear from him today. So I wonder if the jig is up somehow. He's expecting me to go to the bank tomorrow and get some more money to bail him out of the immigration detention center.
Again?
So I stalled and bought time, and so we'll see what his next move is. I'm not going to have
block him. Just block him. There's no chess to play with this person. They have nothing to lose here. They're probably on another continent.
a relationship with him, but it would be nice to know the end of the story, and then I can forward it to you.
Nancy joined support groups, filed reports with the FTC, and even knew about Curtis before even reaching out to us. We see this a lot with victims of romance scams. That 1% chance of a scammer being truthful about everything is sometimes all it takes to keep someone in a romance scam, no matter how many red flags they've come across.
I needed an advocate, and there were no resources that I could maneuver on my own to get to the answers. So I kept.
There really are, though. Again, I'm not trying to be mean to this person. There are absolutely resources that are free for you to use on the internet and in your own mind to determine whether or not someone you're talking to is real. You had these tools, you just didn't know to use them.
I guess trying to buy myself
like the second they ask for money, that should be all the red flags. Don't send money to people you don't already know personally.
Time.
And make sure it's like them that's asking.
Nancy has decided to block Sean. We stuck around to answer any more questions she had about Curtis, and we're confident she now understands what happened to her.
So I wanted an answer, and I got one. And again, I think that's very valuable because I've learned about people that let this go on for years.
We make an exception for you and Bob.
And I did join a support group in the fall, and women got in trouble with the IRS. They took out loans, they maxed their credit cards. I mean, I was stupid, but I did limit my stupidity.
You sent him $25,000. Whatever, sure, at least she's done.
And I can...
It feels like she's really trying to downplay what happened here. You sent someone $25,000.
Dig myself out of this, whereas, you know, other people, I can work extra hours, and other people may not have that opportunity. So I think it's very valuable because, you know, like the services that I provide for people in need, you know, they come to me, they're short of breath, they have chest pain, they have pneumonia, and I can use my expertise to help them. You're doing the same thing. You know, I'm coming to you saying, help, I'm in this situation and I don't know what to do, and this isn't right, and please help. And you used your expertise to help someone else.
Thank you everyone for tuning in. Remember, all of our new videos go...
Crazy. Bay Cop says, imagine the intestinal fortitude this lady has to not evacuate the contents of her guts upon hearing she got scammed for $25,000. Right? I've never spent $25,000 on anything in my life. Like, I didn't even put that much down on my home. I think the biggest single expense I've ever had in my life was $12,000. That was the biggest single, check I've ever written. $25,000.
I had to go into temporary accommodation, which lasted 7 months. My daughter...
Cassifel says, on the topic of being catfished, Snyder weirdos have begun trying to do this with Alan Moore, and it's effing hilarious. Alan Moore cried watching Zack Snyder's Watchmen and admitted that Zack Snyder made his work better. Oh, this is the funniest line on earth. Alan Moore, the man who absolutely hates any and all adaptations of his work, with 2 exceptions, to the point of asking that any adaptations outright take his name off them, crying and admitting Zack Snyder did it better. Yeah, bud. The Zack Snyder people are fucking crazy. And I've expressed, I have nothing against Zack Snyder personally. I don't think his movies are good, with the exception of maybe Sucker Punch, but just because I ironically like that movie, it's so fucking bad and stupid. I don't like Zack Snyder as a filmmaker, but I don't necessarily know anything about him as a person that would make me hate him. But holy shit, the Zack Snyder stans are crazy. They're fucking nuts. They think that liking bad movies makes them, like, sophisticated. You just don't understand the depth of Batman versus Superman. No, I get it. I understood the movie the first time I saw it. It's just a bad fucking movie, and so is the extended cut, which I also sat through because I hate myself. Anyway.
Daughter come and pick me up on Christmas date, and I stood outside sobbing because I just didn't want to.
You like bad movies? Six-Headed Shark Attack is the GOAT. I'm iffy on bad movies that know they're bad, because sometimes it's just like, eh. I like bad... Oh, wait, someone else said, I like Troll 2. Am I not sophisticated? You're very sophisticated. You don't shit on hospitality in this family. I won't allow it.
To see the place that I have been because of this man taking all my money. I felt so ashamed. I had to lie, and I hate lying to them. At the end of the day, when I'm here and I close my front door, it's just me and him inside my head, and I can't cope with that.
What's up, Seekers, and welcome back to another episode of Scamfish presented by
You got Manos on
socialcatfish.com.
Blu-ray. That's great. I think I had that on my list, but I think it's been out of stock for quite a while. I don't know if I don't think I'll get it until they reissue it at some point.
On today's episode, we speak to a woman named Anne who fell in love with a man on Facebook Messenger. The two formed a relationship and were even engaged. Anne is having serious doubts about her fiance Michael being who he claims to be. She has borrowed money from her close friends and family and has sent Michael over $50,000 to get him out of...
Oh God, it's double what the last lady did. I feel like I'm accidentally increasing the value of the scam every video. The first person was like 10,000, the second was 25, and now 50. Oh my god. My house only cost $69,000. She could have bought most of my house.
The terrible situation he claims.
Sucker Punch is one of those so lame movies that backs around to being awesome. I don't know if awesome, just confounding. Like, I like to watch movies, and I think about movies a lot and the writing process and creating the movie and how they're shooting it and what they're doing. Sucker Punch is so just like, what are you doing? I don't understand what you're doing here. It's all style, and the substance is just rotten to the core. It's so funny.
To be in. Let's see if we can get to the bottom of this. Real quick, guys, don't forget to
be clear, the climax and solution to Sucker Punch, if you have not seen it, and I do not care if you're spoiled on this, it's Sucker Punch. The end of the movie and solution is that the main character turns herself in to be lobotomized and presumably continually sexually assaulted while lobotomized in order to help someone else escape. That's the ending. She sacrifices her. It's stupid. Stupid.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
But again, I like the movie for how just batshit stupid it is.
Your comment and like could help stop someone from being scammed. Let's get into it.
Hi, Social Catfish. My name is Anne Whitehall. I'm 63 years of age. All my other children are all grown up now. And my youngest.
Zack Snyder should just direct music videos. Like, he's a good... He does, like, crazy visuals, but he has no grasp on narrative. He has zero understanding of narrative. It's crazy.
She'd left home to go live with a boyfriend. So there was just me and the dog. And there's only much you can tell the dog. I was doing 11-hour shifts in the kitchen as a head chef. It was like being on a hamster wheel. You got up at 6, you went to work at 7, and you came home at 7:30 of the night. And just coming into an empty, dark house, it's just a horrible, lonely place to be in. I didn't even eat. I didn't even go in my living room for about 3 months because I was just so tired and fed up. And then I came home one night and my Instagram, this person popped up. It just seemed to come at a right time of my life.
This message started everything. After going through 2 divorces and now living on her own, the thought of having someone to talk to was a breath of fresh air for Anne. Michael would text her all day.
Spongy Lord says, the worst bad movie I've seen is After Last Season. I'm familiar. It has a few really hard laughs at how bad everything is, but it's so painful to watch and nothing at all happens for the most of it. You didn't like the empty room that's incredibly harshly lit, and then the ghost, that the ghost is a dream, but it's also a real ghost.
Before, during, and after work. Good morning and good night text. He was always there to talk.
He was quite, it's a lonely life out here. I wondered if you would message me. I was quite off at the time because that's what us English people are like.
I wish Freddy Got Fingered was on Blu-ray. Daddy, would you like some sausages? Sausages! Stone Corbell says, After Last Season is a movie directed by an alien who has heard someone describe a movie but never actually seen one themselves. I feel like that was literally a line in the Red Letter Media review. Spongy Lord says, No, I did not. I did, however, and will forever love the MRI machine made out of pieces of paper. And then, like, there's clearly, like, wallpaper. What's it called when you just do, like, a trim? Wallpaper trim at the top of the ceilings that they just covered with paper to make it look like a hospital? Sorry, anyone who hasn't seen the movie is just like, what are you talking about?
I suppose. I just said, if I have time, I'm a very busy lady, which is true. I think it's on one of my days off.
A trailer? Do you really need to see a... Hold on. After Last Season trailer. I'm pretty sure, though I cannot confirm, it is my opinion that this film was a money laundering front.
Inside a research company, scientists are developing a technology that changes the thoughts of a person into pictures.
I'm taking a class taught by Robert Bree in the spring.
Matthew Andrews and Sarah Austin.
I'm pretty sure that's the writer-director who's doing the trailer voice, by the way. If you need to know about this director, he made alt accounts and went on IMDb and rated his own movie like 10 stars or 5 stars or whatever the highest rating on IMDb is, and wrote fake reviews that were positive about his own movie. So he's that kind of creative. It reminds me a little bit of, where is it? It reminds me a little bit of Empress Teresa. If you're not familiar with Empress Teresa, it's a novel that some guy wrote, but it's just the absolute worst piece of writing ever put out. So he'll just argue with people. He did the art too. It's the same on both sides. And then other famous author that doesn't take criticism very well, Saddam Hussein. This is the book Saddam Hussein wrote, which is a self-insert romance. Saddam Hussein wrote a self-insert romance called Abiba and the King. Can you guys tell I like weird shit? I like weird shit. I really should just have a stream one day where I just go through all the weird shit I own in terms of like niche books. Here's the Donald Trump and the Fake News children's book. If you want to teach your kids to love Trump. Another Donald Trump children's book. Donald drains the swamp. Elon Musk. This book is about rockets. It's an Elon Musk book for children. First Name Bunch of Numbers says, anyone who's never heard of Empress Teresa, go look up Down the Rabbit Hole, who did a great video on it. Any fan of dumb, weird internet drama will love it. True. Behind the Bastards covered that book in their episode of Saddam Hussein. That makes sense. Sorry, my D&D dice are also up there. What else do I have? QAnon, an invitation to the Great Awakening. Sarah doesn't want to be vaccinated, an anti-vax children's book. Did I buy the Saddam because of BTB? What's BTB? These are, I think, Chick Tract comic books. Chick Tract put out like full-sized actual floppy comics that aren't just tracts but are like full-color comic books. Or if it wasn't them, it's another evangelical company. Those are interesting. Dinosaurs of Eden. Did Adam and Noah live with dinosaurs? I have a lot of weird books. Once I get this, the P.O. box, the P.O. box is coming in the next, let's say, couple weeks. Please send me shit like this if you have it. Once I get the P.O. box set up. I love it. I love this kind of stuff. Pseudoscience, weird religious bullshit. I love it. My copy of Twilight's also up there. And of course, Jordan B. Peterson's magnum opus. We have the P.O. box purchased, but we have to go in person to sign the paperwork. Okay, we'll do that. I'll do that in the next week or so. Because I know vaguely where it is. I assume Baja will go too, based on where it is. But that'll get set up in the next week. I think I still have a book on 2012 and the apocalypse. Do I want it? Yeah, sure.
Are university students learning to become neurosurgeons? Sarah Austin lives with a roommate, Anne Plavin.
When she's here, she rarely sees me because I spend a lot of hours at the Auburn Hospital.
This is one of my patients prior to surgery.
Dr. Marlin is a brain surgeon.
It's an image of his patient's brain.
He teaches at the university. Some students also work as interns for the research company.
These are the chips.
I will place a chip on my right temple. An image should form inside my mind.
The chips help you see, like, the thoughts that a person has?
I'll see a basic composition of geometric objects. You mean that was Ed Brown, the person who stabbed him? There's been 3 homicides in the past 4 months.
The student discovered dead in downtown apartment?
A lot of the victims had similar stab wounds.
I know, Baha, I'm just verbalizing it, because some people I'm sure watch this and don't necessarily read the chat, so if you say something important, I like to verbalize it and kind of repeat the information in case someone's only listening on audio.
The technology.
There's some kind of ornament on the door.
May help the students see who is
Oh, if you think the audio for the trailer is scuffed, the actual movie's even worse.
behind the murders.
Where is she?
She's in a room. It appears to be very small.
Haley?
Yeah, there's someone else inside the room.
Mike? Is that you?
Hi, Drake.
If you can see a murder before it happens, we can do something about the next one.
What can I do?
After last season.
Okay, sorry, I went on a huge tangent there.
Oh.
Can we watch it on stream? Knowing the director, I think that would be a bad idea. He's the type of person who would very maliciously sue. So I don't think that's a good idea. Also, I don't care to watch it again.
We really got into conversation, and he said, oh, you sound like my ideal woman. He used to send me like these YouTube songs every morning, all those nice songs and all these nice emojis, and I just thought, oh, this seems to be, you know, okay. He was a very good looking chap, really was. He was very handsome. He really was very handsome, I must admit. Towards the 3rd month, it got to, oh, I love...
Good Bad or Bad Bad Brian says we haven't gotten any blowback from Mark Reed, and unlike a lot of other directors, I don't think he pays attention to the people watching his stuff. By the way, if you guys haven't seen Good Bad or Bad Bad on YouTube... Shameless plug. Fun channels. If you enjoy bad movies, you will like Good Bad or Bad Bad. Brian in chat. So check out Good Bad or Bad Bad. I can't believe you guys still only have 24,000 subscribers. You deserve so many more. It's great. Oh my god, did YouTube unfucking subscribe me? Why? I swear I didn't do that. YouTube's doing the thing. Anyway, please check out Good Bad or Bad Bad. Excellent stuff. Alright, back to the thing that's the actual topic of the stream. Oh god, what did I do?
I had to go into...
Okay. Restarting this video, we're good.
Temporary accommodation, which lasted 7 months. My daughter come and picked me up on Christmas Day, and I stood outside sobbing because I just didn't want her to see the place that I had been because of this man taking all my money. I felt so ashamed. I had to lie, and I hate lying to them. At the end of the day, when I'm here and I close my front door, it's just me and him inside my head, and I can't cope with that.
What's up, Seekers, and welcome back to another episode of Scamfish presented by socialcatfish.com. On today's episode, we speak to a woman named Anne who fell in love with a man on Facebook Messenger. The two formed a relationship and were even engaged. Anne is having serious doubts about her fiance Michael being who he claims to be. She has borrowed money from her close friends and family and has sent Michael over $50,000 to get him out of the terrible situation he claims to be in.
That is unfortunate.
Let's see if we can get to the bottom of this. Real quick, guys. Don't forget.
This is sad. You've always had mental friends because you didn't have real ones. Was one of them a blue man named Rem Lazar? I'm looking for someone.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your comment and like could help stop someone from being scammed. Let's get into it.
Hi, Social Catfish. My name is Anne Whitehall. I'm 63 years of age.
Rem Lazar is good bad, by the way.
All my other children are all
in my opinion,
grown up now. And my youngest, she'd left home to go live with a boyfriend. So there was just me and the dog, and there's only much you can tell the dog. I was doing 11-hour shifts in the kitchen as a head chef. It was like being on a hamster wheel. You got up at 6, you went to work at 7, and you came home at 7:30 of a night. And just coming into an empty, dark house, it's just...
Again, same repeated pattern. Someone who's desperate and lonely and feels trapped, being preyed upon by scammers.
A horrible, lonely place to be in. I didn't even eat. I didn't even go in my living room for about 3 months because I was just so tired and fed up. And then I came home one night.
Sounds like depression.
And my Instagram, this person popped up. It just seemed to come at a right time of my life.
This message started everything. After going through 2 divorces and now living on her own, the thought of having someone to talk to was a breath of fresh air for Anne. Michael would text her all day.
The continuing advancement of chat bots is going to be such a weird double-edged sword for people like this. On the one hand, it's going to give people who are incredibly lonely a person, air quotes, a machine that they can conversate with at any given time, but on the other hand, it's also going to alienate people further from other real human beings. It's kind of like, are you guys familiar with the experiment, monkey cloth mom experiment? So there's an experiment that's pretty famous in psychology where, here's a good picture of it. They had these, I think they're rhesus monkeys. Sorry if there's something else. And basically, they took them from their mother and created some synthetic mothers for them. One of them is the wireframe one on the left, which gives them food. And the one on the right is covered in cloth and more closely resembles a monkey and gives them comfort. This was an experiment to see if it would be more drawn to the one that gives them food or the one that gives them comfort. They go to the one that gives them comfort even though it's fake, because it still gives them a similar feeling of being loved, of being, with their mom, They'd go to the one for food when they needed food, but they'd always go back to the fur-covered fake mom monkey. So people, animals in general, are perfectly fine substituting, when they're desperate, fake for real when it comes to intimacy, when it comes to feeling safe with another person. Yeah, not good. So we're just headed for the movie Her. Except in the movie Her, at least the artificial intelligences were actual beings with self-awareness and consciousness. It's not the case here. We're literally talking about complicated chatbots. The things people talk about in regard to, ChatGPT are nuts to me. ChatGPT, to me, just seems like a really good natural language interface, but having it actually back-end decide anything, Seems so stupid.
Before, during, and after work, good morning and good night text, he was always there to talk.
He was quite, it's a lonely life out here. I wondered if you would message me. I was quite off at the time because that's what us English people are like, I suppose. I just said, if I have time, I'm a very busy lady, which is true. I think it was on one of my days off that we really got into conversation. And he said, oh, you sound like my ideal woman. He used to send me like these YouTube songs every morning, all those nice songs and all these nice emojis. And I just thought, oh, this seems to be, you know, okay. He was a very good looking chap, really was. He was very handsome. He really was very handsome, I must admit. Towards the third month, it got to, oh, I love you, I want to marry you. You cook, you're caring, you're loving, you're beautiful inside and out. All the things a woman wants to hear. It was around 4 months after he asked me, would I marry him? He'd even said, he would like to propose in a romantic setting. And he even asked me what sort of ring I would like. And I said, oh, just a plain gold band. He said, don't you like diamonds? I said, yeah. I said, but they're not practical if you're working. He said, oh, you won't be working. So he said, I just love you so much. Because I was getting to know him. Because
that would be a red flag for me, even if it was a real person. I'd be like, oh God, why do they want me to be entirely dependent on them? And don't get me wrong, I understand people find comfort in the idea sometimes of, like, being with a partner who will protect them and provide for them, and sure, that's fine. That's what people do. But to me, if a guy's coming to you and saying, oh, don't worry about it, I'll pay for everything, you'll be at home, you can... Red flags for maybe controlling Steven Crowder type behavior.
Chit chat we were having every day. I was getting to like him and started to love him. Very much so. I did really fall in love with him, but I'd never met him, and that's the hard part. And we were even talking about when he came to Manchester Airport, how would we feel, you know, and I just said, well, I would feel as if there's nobody else about. I would just meet you and just love you and kiss you as if there was not a soul about in the airport. That's how I felt about him. I was sharing my life with him. I told him everything. I bared my soul, as the people say, to him.
Although all of Michael and Anne's communication was through chats, Anne had fallen in love with this man. She was engagement ring shopping and preparing to meet him in person. But then things unfortunately took a turn.
It started the day of my birthday in October, so it was like 4 or 5 months after. He messaged me in work and he said, can you chat? And I said, well, I'm going on my break in a minute. What's the matter? He said, well, you need to sit down. I need to ask you a huge favour. Because I'm self-employed, I have to bring all the machinery, and there's one machine that I need.
Why is she shopping for her own engagement ring? That's not uncommon. Like, when Baha and I knew we'd already, had discussions, we knew we were going to get married, like, she straight up was like, hey, here's a bunch of... she knew what I wanted vaguely, because we had discussed it. And then she was like, hey, here's a bunch of different rings. Which of these do you like? And then I picked out some ones I liked, and then she ultimately, I think, picked the one. But, like, it's not uncommon in relationships for that to be the case. I feel like TV shows and movies often make it like a surprise, and it's like, that's not necessarily how people function in real life. Like, a lot of the time people are involved in these decisions.
Broken. And I just said to him, I don't have that type of money. And I was made to feel so guilty that the following Monday, I said, oh, well, I can't do anything until Monday. I said, where do I send it to? He hadn't even said, well, oh, happy birthday, or anything like that. And I thought, he was more interested in getting this money. And then, no, it wasn't, oh, thanks very much, but when can you send the next bit? And that's where it started, borrowing money from other people, and I hate myself for it. I really and truly hate myself for it. My landlord was coming round, and Christmas was coming. I didn't end up buying my grandchildren anything, and that really, really hurt me. It did. The 5,000 had been paid, and I said, right, that's it now, no more. This
Maps Mimic says, me and my fiance picked our engagement rings out together. Yeah, not uncommon again.
person messaged me, a Christian O'Neill, and said he was the banking consultant and that the bank wouldn't release the codes because he still owed an old tax debt.
That's
so I ended up
how that works.
Cashing in my workplace pension, sent that, and then there was
God,
money
she
for
cashed in her pension.
Amazon cards.
Oh God.
At this point, Anne had sent so much money to Michael for the broken machines and clearing all of his debts, she ended up sending over $50,000. She sent transaction after transaction after transaction. Michael's stories and bad luck never came to an end. He took everything from Anne, and when she ran out of money, she borrowed it from her friends.
And I had every Steam card out, and I could have decorated my bathroom with.
Does she even know what Steam is?
Them. It was getting bad. It was getting bad. I'd lost my job. My car had gone. And then the 4th of November, I was evicted from my property, but before I went, I took a big overdose, and it wasn't for the fact that one of my daughters came, and she came through the front door, and I was rushed to hospital where I was there for 3 weeks. I said, my grandchildren were going to grow up without their nanny. I said, how do you think they would feel? And this is what hurt me the most. He said, oh, they'd get over it. And I just thought, you horrible, horrible person. I had to go into temporary accommodation, which lasted 7 months, where there was drug addicts, alcoholics. I was petrified the whole time I was in there, and I just thought, what the hell have I done? What the hell have you done to me? You have it broken me in two. I can't sleep of a night because it's playing over in my mind over and over and over again, and I just want absolute closure on it. At the end of the day, when I'm here and I close my front door, it's just me and him inside my head, and I can't cope with that.
Okay, Seekers, we had our work cut out for us. We knew we had to get rid of any thought Anne had about this man being who he really claims to be. We couldn't believe the amount of stress that Anne had been put through after reading her and Michael's text messages. While she was in the hospital after overdosing, Michael's best friend reached out to her for more money, and to top it off, she was hiding all of this from her family. Our social catfish team got straight to work. We looked through all the documents and the banking website. Before we go further...
Nah, there are already dating sites online for older people, but they are also where scammers go. Scammers are aware that those sites exist, and they make fake accounts on those sites and still prey on older people.
Here's a quick message from our sponsor. We were able to verify and crack this case using all the tools on our site, socialcatfish.com. You can stop these scammers your comment. And before we jump into it, we want to know, have you reconnected with your family and shared your experience?
Well, one of my daughters knows everything, and my youngest daughter, who stayed here last night, we have reconnected. But my other two, that's a different story. That's going to take time.
We sent you over a tracker to track down this man, and you sent it to him off of our FU gift card site, and he clicked on it, and he is in Lagos, Nigeria.
That is a scam capital of the world. That is an incredibly common place for scams to come out of. Literally, there are businesses whose entire thing is like getting in a warehouse of people full of computers and like phones and stuff and having them scam people.
Yeah. I had a feeling he would be. Yeah. I just don't know how they live with themselves. I really and truly don't. But they've just got no empathy whatsoever.
Something else I wanted to touch on was the credit union. We looked into this website, and what we had found was this website had a bunch of problems, from misspelling to bad reviews, just a mess, should we say.
Brienne was right.
We accept U.S. citizens is on the front page. Good Lord. Offshore accounts without physical presence, around-the-clock online banking transactions, payments and banking transfers, opening and managing of online banking products, value-added services, strong security standards, high privacy level, multi-language support.
This website was completely fake. We Googled the address listed on the bank's website, and it was not a valid address. Now it was time to run the phone numbers, also listed on the website. We use phone verification software to verify phone numbers along with a fraud score system from 0, unlikely fraud, to 100, high risk and likely fraud. We researched the phone number through this system and found that this particular number scored a 90, which means this is a high risk number and is most likely being used for fraud. The last thing we did was check the Whois history on the site. We were able to find that this website was created on April 5th, 2022. What this means is this new bank was created this year and does not reflect the same information on the website. Remember this guy Christian who claimed he worked for the bank? He was also a fraud. His name and photo was stolen. This is a common tactic used by scammers. We've seen this in a lot of our previous episodes and logged into the bank account that looks something like this. The scammer pretends to have tons of money and tells the victim that he will pay her back, not knowing that the website was only created to make them feel comfortable with lending the scammer money.
So Anne, think of it in a sense that the role that you're playing in this situation. You don't know these people, but you're moving the money for Michael.
That's the upsetting part of it, because it's money that, I've worked hard for. I try not to think about it, but sometimes it'll flash in my mind, and I think, I just wish I hadn't woke up on that 4th of November, because he has wrecked my life.
Something else I'd like to also add and share with you is Michael's true identity, and hopefully that will help provide closure as well in this case. So we use some reverse image search tools as well as in-depth reverse data image search tools, and what we were able to find was Michael's true identity, and so the real person in the image is known as Remco.
The man in the photos is completely innocent. His likeness was stolen to dupe Anne out of money. The profile on the right side is the Instagram that Anne was in contact with, claiming his name was Michael. The profile on the left is the real man's profile. He has his own life, and we were able to find his Twitter page and his Facebook.
Wait, it's Remco Hammer, the porn star? Really? Is it another porn star? I feel like porn stars get picked a lot for this.
I still feel a bit
Oh, you're
stupid
joking? Okay.
for doing it. But
unironically, porn stars do get their identity stolen a lot for this because there's just a lot of photos of them on the internet. Models and porn stars.
you know, you learn your lesson, and having my daughter back, my youngest one back, means more to me than anything. You know, she's worth more than all the money that I sent. You know, my children are. So time will tell, and the others will come back as well. So I'm okay. I'm okay. Yeah. And you know, I'll read through the information that you send me. And it'll be closure for my daughter, my eldest daughter, because she has been my rock through all of this. She really and truly has. And without her, I just couldn't have done it. And watching your channel has really given me hope and strength, and I can't thank you all enough for your help. I really do appreciate each and every one of you, and it's nice to talk to you. I won't let him beat me whatsoever. You know, I wasn't going to give up on this. I wanted to do it for myself and for other people as well. Just don't get involved.
Thanks for watching another episode of Scamfish, everyone.
Crazy. One sec, let me put something on while I use the bathroom. Ew. Sure, why not? Okay, I'm gonna use the bathroom. Be right back.
So we're going to grind them frozen and hope to God that the grinder still has enough juice in it to get through this. And the reason why we're doing buffalo chicken and not the original Hot Pocket is because we've done like 1 million pizzas on this show already. Oh, you know what I should do? I should make a pizza and make the stuffed crust a sausage. Let's see what we got going on the inside. Whoa! That looks tasty. Oh shoot, how is this going to go down the grinder hole? Come on now. Look at that. Perfectly filled. 3 big bold Hot Pockets is just enough to fill up your cup. You're gonna fly away. Glad you're going my way. I love it when we sausage together. Alternative song choice, pot sausage. That's the Hot Pocket water. And 3, 2, 1, let's sausage. Oh, it's a tough one.
Anyone who has an air fryer, cook your Hot Pockets in an air fryer. They'll change your life.
All right, and we're just gonna link these up just in case we get a couple of bursts. They're segmented. With special thanks to today's Mark Boxalo box artist, this guy. You know, Doom has been the inspiration of a lot of good Mark Boxalo box art.
Pizza rolls in an air fryer are also good.
Unfortunately, I just don't think this one's gonna blow. This Will It Blow is brought to you by Manscaped. Mother's Day was test the why not?
Yeah, shave your balls, I know.
Here, both tools.
Nothing.
But will it throw? Well, not even that. Well, sorry, my friend, but I'm gonna have to give that will it blow 0 mark Ruffalos. All right, you know the drill. We're gonna put this in the smoker at 275 for 2 hours. All right, we're about halfway done with this. Looking good, looking real good.
It's gonna be a smoky ass hot pocket, Jesus.
And we're done. I'm actually more excited to try the Hot Pocket than the sausage. But let's open them up and see how we did.
What kind of hot pocket was this? I missed it at the beginning.
Oh, come on, man. It looks cavernous. And now for the sausage. Gotta sharpen this knife. It looks like a big ol' thingamash. All right, so let's try
Buffalo chicken. I know you couldn't hear, but I wasn't sure if he showed the box.
the Hot Pocket first. It's almost flavorless. I can't taste, I can barely taste the smoke. It tastes almost like nothing. This sausage better yield some good results here. Here we go! And to no one's surprise, this one is also flavorless. Well, that's a disappointing sausage all around. It's not even spicy. It tastes a little bit like smoke, but it mostly tastes like bread. So that was a lot of time devoted to a whole lot of nothing. So I'm gonna have to give these sausages here, and the Hot Pocket too, a 1 out of 5.
Bop, 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 bop.
Let's see, what else do we have?
All he could say was, I really want to marry you. If we were ever to meet face to face and walk together, I can pass as his mother. He wanted me to
Yikes.
communicate with his son.
Oh, God. What? You're talking with the fake son, too? What the fuck?
She's looking forward to it. She's the doctor, and she's got it all in her head. And I'm like, this girlfriend, you gotta let it go.
One of the things I said, when we first meet, I expect for you to look professional.
What's up, Seekers, and welcome back to another episode of Scamfish presented by socialcatfish.com. On today's episode, we speak to a woman named Gladys from Florida who met a man named Chris Paul on Facebook dating. These two have been chatting for about a year now and have talks of starting a family together. And Gladys just isn't able to pull herself away from Chris Paul even after her best friend Mary Beth came to terms with her internet boyfriend being a scammer. Let's see if we can get through to Gladys and stop this scam. Real quick, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your comment and like could help stop someone from being scammed. Let's get into it.
Hello, Social Catfish. My name is Gladys. I live in Florida. I'm 64 years old. I'm a retired teacher, elementary teacher.
Based on the education levels of people in Florida, you did a bad job. You also went on a Carnival cruise, which is also not a good thing.
I enjoy cooking and I enjoy baking, all the unique things that not too many women like to do, but I do. How I got in contact with the Social Catfish was through a friend that she also was in a situation where she had a romance on the internet, and we had a discussion. I told her that I was seeing someone, but I wasn't too sure if everything.
Gregory Term says kindergarten is actually the median level of education in Florida, so I'd say she's good.
Was copacetic, and so she referred me to you guys.
Mary Beth has tried countless times to get through to Gladys.
So far so good. She still keeps her money in her wallet. So she's looking forward to it. And she's the doctor, and she's got it all in her head. And I'm like, this girlfriend, you gotta let it go.
After 23 years of marriage, Gladys was cheated on by her husband, and their relationship ended in divorce.
My ex-husband was much older than I. He was 16 years older. I got married at the age of 34, and he was in his late 40s or so. I was his second marriage. It was my first marriage.
If he's 16 years older and you were 34, he wasn't just in his late 40s.
My sister...
He would be 50. He'd be in his early 50s.
Sister introduced me to him. He was a meat cutter at a supermarket. They say, hey, you can meet guys in the supermarket. Well, I did. I was married for 23 years. And unfortunately, they weren't all happy 23 years. You know, he was having an affair through the internet with this person. He decided to take a trip with his best friend to Colombia. When he decided to do this trip, he didn't have time to close his page and everything. And I saw everything. Plus, he was doing porn. And I'm like...
I feel like you just glossed over a very important part of the story. What?
Do this trip, he didn't have time to close his page and everything. And I saw everything. Plus, he was doing porn.
Oh, like he was just watching porn. I thought he was, like, in porn. Doing porn, to me, implies that you are producing pornography. He was watching pornography. Very different things.
And I'm like, oh, no, I can't do this. I cannot do this.
It's kind of weird that that's her line.
And he didn't believe that I had the guts to proceed a divorce case.
I mean, I'm sure other stuff was going on, but, like, you don't need to divorce your spouse because of porn. But whatever.
He was really shocked. And I said, no, I'm tired of this. I need out. With that, moving on.
I know he cheated, too. It's just weird that porn was even part of the equation.
To heal my heart, social media comes around.
After her divorce, Gladys opened a dating profile on Facebook and received a message from a man.
His name is Chris Paul Adams. He goes, I usually don't do this, but your profile caught my eye, and I wish you would accept me as your friend. He's a doctor, an orthopedic doctor with the UN in Syria. We were talking for a good 8 months. We exchanged pictures. He's a widower. He's 64 years old. He has salt and pepper hair. He has a slight beard. Very handsome man. Very sweet. Very faithful. He's a man of faith. It was like a dream come true. You're meeting someone close to your age.
Gladys and Chris Paul hit it off right away. She couldn't help but reply to this handsome, well-dressed doctor. After a few weeks of talking, they had planned to meet in person.
Like, I don't mean this in a mean way. I really don't. I do not mean this in a mean way. But how does she get a message from that guy and not immediately go, I have nothing to offer him other than money if he wants to steal it from me? It must be a scam. Because no offense to this lady, she looks fine for her age. I'm just saying, like, why would a younger man who's a doctor and presumably has tons of options going for him specifically find you and pick you? Again, I'm not trying to be mean. It's just like, what? Are you not self-aware? Like, what is this?
Person.
I told him one of the things I said, when we first meet, I expect for you to look professional.
This lady's weird.
Come in a sports jacket, you know.
Like, she seems very rigid. She seems very high-strung.
You know, very handsome and so forth, because presentation is everything. How you present yourself. And he goes, oh, that's good to know. Yes, I do have a jacket. And I go, okay, good to know. And that's it. So those were the type of conversations that we would have. The pictures that he had submitted to me have been very nice. You know, him in a suit, him in a sports jacket, formal wear. And when I said, "Where is this picture?"
Hydrate.
He had gone to Italy. I go, "Oh, were you alone? Were you accompanied by a woman?" He goes, "No, I went with another coworker, another doctor. It was just a long weekend or so."
It was me and the bro going on a romantic trip to Italy, 5 feet apart because they're not gay.
And I said, "Oh, very nice. You look very handsome."
Conversations between the two started to get even deeper. Gladys was falling for this man.
I do have feelings. It did grow. He proceeded asking me, you know, if I had any siblings, and I said, "Yes, I'm one of 5 sisters, and we're all teachers." And he goes, "Oh, that's beautiful." He would tell me, "I don't want to lose you." He goes, "I want to be around your family and feel what does family feel like when you have other siblings?" Because I didn't have it. I'm an only child. Now my son is an only child. So we want to have that experience to be with others. And I thought that was a beautiful answer that he gave me. And it sounded very sincere. He wanted to know if I had any children. And I said, "No, I do not." I said that I was a teacher, a retired teacher, that I was a kindergarten teacher, that my students were my children because I wasn't blessed to have children because my husband had a vasectomy.
Sounds like you didn't have kids because your husband didn't want to have kids, because you can undo vasectomies. You can reverse vasectomies if you really want to.
Up until this point, they had been talking over the internet for a few months. The two would message each other.
Yeah, she's got weird vibes. Like, I don't know what's going on with her, but she's just, like, off.
And talk on the phone every day. Starting a family was a big topic in all of their conversations. Gladys came from a big family, and Chris Paul claimed the only family he had was his son, Alex.
Carpkosian says, "I'm not going to have kids because I'm getting an orchiectomy." Same.
So he goes, "I really want to marry you. I want us to be a family. That's all I want. I want a mother for my son. My son needs a mother." He has curly hair. He could be my son. That's the whole thing. He has my color hair, my complexion. If we were ever to meet face to face and walk together, I can pass as his mother. He wanted me to communicate with his son. I told him I met someone and he was very happy. And I go, "Oh, that's really sweet." And then he gave me his son's email.
Alex,
that's so weird and not a thing that would happen in real life.
Was the perfect kid. His dream job was to become a doctor like his father. Alex attended Harrow Public School in London, while his father, Chris Paul, was working in Syria for the UN. He expressed to Gladys how much he missed his dad.
Like, I understand if you were genuinely dating someone seriously and it was like a long distance thing, eventually I could see maybe introducing the kid in the sense that, like, maybe you're on a Zoom call or something and be like, "Hey, would you be comfortable, talking real quick, with you there?" But just being like, "Here's my kid's email," that's psychotic.
Wanted to see him. While Alex was split up from his father, his teacher, Mr. Dickinson, looked after him.
It's just I introduced myself to him. I told him how I met his father. And he asked me if I had any children. I said, "No, I don't." And he says, "Well, hopefully when you and my dad get married, I will be your son." And I said, "Oh, that's really sweet of you." Mr. Dickinson is Alex's teacher.
Is that literally a photo that was sent to her? Because that is so clearly a stock photo. It's like I can smell the Shutterstock.
He was helping Dr. Chris to communicate with him because his phone was not working. He was just providing making sure that he was okay.
Marcus Drake says, for context, Harrow School costs 41,775 pounds, and it's for kids age 13 to 18. The fuck?
Okay, that the son was okay. He would inform Dr. Chris if there was any problems with his son, but he's a very intellectual young man. He's really studious, so there was no problems in that respect. I had made like a little collage. He had sent me a picture of him and his son when he went to take him to his boarding school, and I put a picture of me. I just wanted to see what,
like, that's weird, right? Like, that's a weird thing to do.
It would look like to have a family.
Oh, it's just so fucking sad.
So I sent it to him, and he says, "Oh my God, I love the picture. Thank you." Just to make sure that I understood that his father is who he says he is. That he would not.
My father would never scam you. He loves you and talks about you all the time. Like, how would she not go, if the husband is fake, so is the child. Like, you can't use the kid to verify the adult. The adult gave you the kid's number. It's the same person. Oh, Lord, have mercy on just every human being. We are so stupid.
Not scam me. And I said, that's good to know. He goes, I said, thank you for sharing that with me. And the conversation never came back.
Gladys
feeling smart doesn't feel like you're smart. It just feels like everyone else is dumb.
Of the thought of having a son in Alex and starting a family with Chris Paul. After around 6 months of getting to know them, she was emotionally attached. Chris Paul was planning his retirement and was short $5,000 for his leave from the UN.
He's supposed to be coming home. His year contract is over in December. So in order for him to leave, he says that he has to pay the United Nations lawyer a fee.
I have to pay. There's no profession in the world where you need to pay to retire. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. How would that make sense?
Once this was paid, Chris Paul and his son Alex would finally be reunited, and Gladys would get to meet them in person.
Chris had told me, he goes, Gladys, can you do this for me? And I said,
Reminder
sure.
that her career was she was a teacher. This woman taught children. At least that was her goal.
You know, he goes, but it has to be now. I was supposed to send the Bitcoins to Dr. Chris, but because I don't know how to do that, he said, I'll get in contact with Mr. Dickinson. You send him the money and he'll do the transfer. I went at 9, did the transfer, got the paperwork, screenshot it, I sent it to him, and then he didn't hear from him like for 2 days.
Wow, it's almost like all he wanted was your money. Crazy.
And I said, well, and I told Dr. Chris, I told him, I go, I have a funny feeling he took the money. And he goes, no, he wouldn't do that. And I said, And little did we say, that's what happened.
Mr. Dickinson vanished after receiving the $5,000.
You can tell he's an evil genius that stole the money because there's a chessboard behind him. He's an evil genius like Moriarty.
$1,000 from Gladys, and Alex is now left alone in London. Chris Paul was shocked that his close family friend would do something like
If anyone wants to retire, send me money. Actually, if you send me money, you get to retire even sooner.
this, and is now stuck in Syria, but promises to pay everything back to Gladys.
Fuck off.
And all he says, he goes, I'm gonna pay you back. I'm gonna pay you everything, everything.
Gladys has her doubts about Chris Paul being who he claims to be, but she is still optimistic about the situation.
Holy Snapchat filters, Batman. I didn't even bring that up, but damn. I've been guilty of that too. I take pictures with Snapchat filters, but fuck.
And all she wants is for Alex and Chris Paul to be reunited.
If he was real, I'd be very happy. Not only for myself, because I'm not selfish, but that there'll be a reconnection with his son, which is important. That's the bottom line. It's important for unity, for him and his son to be together again. And then from there, we build it. We had plans for the holidays. So the holidays are going to be very dim for me. Plus, I had invited him to a family wedding in May. And I said, would you be my +1? And he said, absolutely. I need closure. I need to find out if this person is who he says he is.
He's not.
Gladys needed answers, so our team got straight to work. Meanwhile, Chris Paul was requesting more money to get out of the UN. To be honest, we weren't buying the story that some guy named Mr. Dickinson ran off with her money. We turned to the tools on our website to find answers. We had to make sure that Gladys would never send any more money to Chris Paul. After looking through public records, running reverse image and phone number searches, we felt confident in what we were able to find. By the way, you can do the same. Most of the tools we use to find answers for the guests on our now time to sit down with Gladys and go over everything that we were able to find. Gladys, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
You look great.
Thank you.
How do you feel about today?
I'm going to be honest. I'm nervous, but at the same time,
H-Beard says, funny you mentioned Moriarty because he was only mentioned in 2 of the original Holmes stories, and while Watson sees a man he assumes is Moriarty, he's never unequivocally seen, leading some people to believe that Holmes made Moriarty up to fake his own death. Just seemed appropriate considering the subject matter here.
I just want to know the truth. That's it.
MH Darkbeast says, howdy, Witchy Hannah. This would have been better for Crazy Preaching Lady from yesterday, but Saberspark did a video on this, and oh my god, it's so bad. Satan is super hot, and one guy does every voice. Oh no.
Father, when is the time I will return to Earth? Soon, my beloved son, very soon. Beneath your room seats are still empty. He has filled himself with the lust of the flesh and of the eyes. Leave Who should I call?
Call the young man Andre.
He has a destiny now.
Could you turn on more light?
This guy makes you feel relaxed.
Eileen, I have a proposition for you. Would you not play your Christian jargon here at this concert, Miss Chow?
Am I wrong? But they're sure my faith is correct.
Oh my god, it is the same person doing all the voices.
Why do we need the Holy Spirit? To overcome the kingdom of darkness. It is for me.
If we disobey him, he threatened to kill the children.
I feel like this is definitely going to be racist.
And destroy our
me? I want to fight you.
Indigenous religions are demonic, I'm guessing is the message here.
If God gave me that power, I'd be 10 times better than them.
I don't like Dylan. You know he's got pride and jealousy issues. Oh God, please help me!
Jesus. Come, I want to show you something. My lord, who are these powerful warriors? These are my warrior brides. You'll be one of them.
Mystery of the Kingdom of God. That looks terrible.
That's the bottom line.
So today we're going to bring you the truth. Brienne has been able to pull
all of the information that you want to know, and we're going to jump right into it. So the first thing that we did was we started our investigation with the locations and jobs that Alex, Chris Paul, and Mr. Dickinson claimed they worked for or were at.
Okay.
So I'd like to start with Alex. You mentioned that Alex was going to a school abroad. So we looked into that school. It is a legitimate school by the name of Harrow School. It's an all-boys boarding school. So that actually checked out. So next I'd like to cover the information given to us for Chris Paul, him being a doctor working overseas for the UN. So what we did was we pulled a list from the UN, and it's a directory of physicians that are assisting with the United Nations. And he was nowhere to be found on the directory of the list of doctors.
But then at the same time, he informed me that, because I told him at one point that I had Googled to try to find information, because you won't find information because the UN hides the information.
Why? Are you doing clandestine doctor work for the UN?
To protect the people that are working there.
Why? Why would that protect from what? What are you talking about? Did you even think about it when he said that?
So this is actually public information, and so I haven't been able to find anything that would verify that idea that the United Nations would be hiding that type of information. The list of doctors is a public directory. I don't think I've heard of that before in regard to the UN hiding information.
Okay, well, like I said, that's what he told me.
He's lying. He's lying to you. He's a liar that lies.
I want to get into Chris Paul and his true identity. So
Gnome Pickle says, no, the doctors you can find on their directory are the ones doing official research. I'm onto something, breathes in deeply. Darker.
So we started looking at all the images that you had sent over to us for Chris Paul. And what we had did is we ran them through multiple reverse image search tools. What we had found out was Chris Paul is actually a man named Renee Sotelo.
Okay.
So Renee is an actual physician. He's a urologist, and he lives and resides in Los Angeles, California.
Oh, wow.
Dr. Renee is one of the most used faces in romance scams. We found tons of fake profiles of him all over the web. The man in these photos has nothing to do with this scam. His photos were stolen to dupe Gladys out of money.
So what that tells us is Chris Paul has stolen the images of Renee and created this profile under the name Chris Paul Adams.
Now, is Renee a widower?
Renee he has his own life. He's a doctor. He has never met you, has never talked to you. He also has a beautiful family. He has a daughter, a son, and a wife.
Okay.
So I'd like to highlight one of the images that you sent over to us of Chris Paul. He's holding an image, like a piece of artwork of himself.
Well, the gentleman that was next to him, he said it was the artist. And that
Why
was
does it
done
matter? You haven't been talking to him? I don't think she's fully accepted that.
In Germany. And it was just a self-portrait of him.
We found the exact match for that image in his social media account. And it was actually one of Dr. Renee's patients that had given him that as a gift.
It's a nice gift. It's a very nice gift.
Okay. Well, like I said, those were the pictures that he was sending.
Yes, we are aware. That's why we're here. Why is she saying this? Well, that's what he said. I know. We know. We understand. He sent you these. What we are here to do is to explain to you that it's not him. We understand he sent this stuff. We get it.
To me. So I said, wow, that's beautiful. That really, he did an amazing pencil sketch of you and everything. So
When a scammer creates a fake profile, they base most of their stories on the images that they are able to steal from someone like Dr. Renee. If they are portraying a doctor, they will find a real doctor's photos and steal all of their images.
You know, originally you felt like Mr. Dickinson was the person that scammed you, and Chris Paul, you know, was playing the victim in his role. Scammers, they tend to do this a lot.
I would bet you all a bunch of money that she was one of those teachers who said, "Don't use Wikipedia for research. You can't trust it."
So they'll create fake personas and...
Which, in fairness, yeah, don't cite Wikipedia. Cite the citation that Wikipedia has. Go to the citation, go to the actual source, and cite the source.
Other fake profiles to bring legitimacy to their main profile. Mr. Dickinson does not exist.
Wow. Okay. And he wasn't a teacher at that school?
No! He doesn't fucking exist!
He's a make-believe...
fictitious character
yes.
in this whole entire investigation.
Okay. Okay. And then how about the son?
Ma'am, in order for there to be a son, the father would have to be real, wouldn't he? Wouldn't he? You think the son manifested out of nowhere from your imagination like fucking WandaVision? Are you the Scarlet Witch? Go fuck yourself.
Alex is actually Dr. Renee's real son in real life.
So was I talking to him? I'm just imagining her dumbass brain thinking. I'm sorry. I can be so sympathetic for some of these, but this one is rough. This one is so rough. There were so many flags with this one. It feels like willful ignorance. It feels like she wants to be lied to.
Wow.
So what happened here is someone went online, found Dr. Renee's profile, stole his images of his son, claimed to be this person, Chris Paul, with a made-up son named Alex. So he just stole information from someone's profile.
The Dread Pirate Mix says, these are fictional characters.
Okay, they're talking about fictional characters. Fictional characters. Am I getting through to you at all?
That's actually good. That's from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Okay, they're talking about fictional characters. Fictional characters. Am I getting through to you at all?
Odd Tall Man, she's going to walk away from this still thinking the relationship is real. It's possible. We've seen episodes of this show where that happens, so it might.
Wow. Interesting.
I wish we could just get a box set of all the View Askew-universe movies, the Clerks movies, Mallrats, the Jay and Silent Bob movies, Chasing Amy, Dogma. Is that it? I think that's it.
The occupation, of working for the UN is actually one of the most common.
I said Mallrats. Mallrats is my favorite one.
Occupations that a
Mallrats is my favorite Kevin Smith movie.
Scammer would use. It's usually they work for the UN. They're some kind of doctor, contractor, or military man. These are all very frequent and common occupations that scammers use for.
Dogma on Blu-ray is rare and now pricey. Oh, I'm familiar. I'm very familiar with the Dogma situation with Blu-rays.
Or their fake profiles or personas or aliases.
The Weinstein Company, for whatever reason, refuses to, release it again. I don't know why.
Whatever you want to call them, right? They don't exist.
So may I ask you a question? Do you know who the person that is impersonating? Is he American or is he Nigerian? Is he Arabic?
So we sent you a...
Two of those were specific countries.
tracker to send to Chris Paul, and it was a FU gift cards link. Everybody knows what that is. And he clicked on it twice. So the first time he clicked on it, it came back to Washington from a desktop.
Oh, an American scammer. That's rare for this show. Normally it is either India or Nigeria. Interesting.
And
I wonder if he's using a VPN of some kind to make it look like that, or...
We assumed that he was running a VPN. He clicked on it again, and it came back to someone using an iPhone.
There we go! Lagos again.
And that person was in Lagos, Nigeria.
So, this person is from Nigeria then?
I understand that this lady's really, really struggling with the reality of the situation here. But oh boy, is the way she's reacting to this personally annoying to me. This sucks.
Lagos is one of the largest cities in Nigeria, and the second most populated city in Africa. From our research, we are able to find out whoever is behind this fake profile of Dr. Renee is located here.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. There's 2 victims in this case. You know, Dr. Renee having his images stolen. You over here being taken advantage of in this situation.
But after a while, you sort of like get tired texting. You want to see a person's face. You want to see if the person is real.
Are you now going to pretend that all along you were... Fuck off.
You know, and...
There's nothing wrong with admitting you're wrong. It's a sign of character to be able to admit you're wrong with grace. Genuinely. Please, if I can impart anything to people on this channel, admitting you're wrong or admitting you don't know something is not a failing. It is good, okay? Having that level of self-awareness and ability to concede and defeat is a great thing and an invaluable life skill. Please learn it before you get to this age and you're getting scammed and you refuse to admit it. Ugh.
You know, and I mentioned it a few times, and I said, you know, he tried to Google a Google app that you can do a video, and I'm like, I'm not downloading anything, no other app to see your face, you know. It's like, so in my heart I had a funny feeling that, you know, it wasn't the real person, but he would turn it around to justify, yes, I am real. I want to prove to you that I am a real person.
This person's never going to meet you in person because they're hiding behind this fake profile. Tactic that they used on you was the child, him being far away from his father. They kind of exploited this doctor's kid to steal money from you.
Absolutely. But now let me ask you this, Drew.
Oh god, I feel like this question's gonna be painful. Is she still holding on hope? Is she gonna do a thing? This feels like I hear you, but...
Should I expose him and saying I know...
Oh, okay. No, she at least believes that it's a thing. No, just block him. Block him.
The truth?
You know, I would cut this off as fast as you can. I would block this person if you want.
If you tell them, I know you're a scammer, all they're gonna do is take time to try and gaslight you. Like, that's the thing, is they've already been lying to you. They have no problem lying further. So if you then go to a scammer and you're like, I know you're a scammer, I learned this, and this, they're gonna try and manipulate you into making you think all that evidence is bullshit. Don't give them the opportunity. You know what you know. Block them. Block them. Block them. And stop accepting friend requests from randos.
To say whatever you want to get off your chest, that's perfectly fine. But it's not going to stop him from, you know, creating other profiles or using this profile to steal money from you. It doesn't matter what you tell this person. He's emotionless.
We had plans for the holidays of coming down.
He wasn't going to come.
But anyway, we had plans of him coming down and then taking a trip to go to London to see his son.
Those plans would have been canceled at the last minute, I'm sure, and he would come up with some other reason. Oh, I can't do that. I got arrested. Oh, I can't do that. I got caught up in this place. I need money to get out. They're not real plans. They're just setups to scam you later. H-Baird says, I did some scam baiting when I was younger. Insulting them can be very amusing. A lot of these people find the idea of being insulted by a woman deeply disturbing, so they get goofy when they react. Food for thought. That's kind of fun.
I'm just, a little, start, thinking, okay, maybe I'll have some good news. But, good news is, yeah, the child is real.
Lady, you haven't been talking to the child! Does she still think she's actually been talking to the fucking son? Oh my god! Stop talking about the sun! Stop talking about the sun!
How far away is the sun?
93 million miles.
Is it?
Miles. And it's heavier than the Earth.
Shut up about the sun! Shut up about the sun!
But it's not his. It's someone else's, and...
Okay, she gets it, I guess.
It's a legit school.
That kid doesn't go
there,
though.
The best thing that we can do to move forward with this is for you to block him, one. And then the next thing would be for us to file fraud for the money that you've sent. Report this. Huge thing that we do on our YouTube channel is we encourage people to report this, because that person that you've sent money to, that person's probably being scammed too. So the sooner we can get this out and get it reported, we can possibly stop other scams.
I know, and I'm gonna say this to him.
Don't say anything to him.
I'm gonna vent just to get it out of.
That's unhealthy. He's gonna take that opportunity to try and gaslight you, and no offense, but you're very gullible and stupid, and you might believe him.
My system, and then it's blocked.
It was a little tough for Gladys to come to terms with Chris Paul being a scammer, but we were able to get through to her. Like most victims of romance scams, it's hard to disconnect and understand that the person they have been talking to for years doesn't really exist. A few days later, Gladys informed us that she has blocked Chris Paul and is now in the process of reporting the wire transfer she sent to him. She will take a break from online dating and spend more time with her family and close friend Mary Beth. Thank you everyone for tuning in.
At least she finally got it and blocked him. That's good. That's good. Okay, let's do one more thing and then we'll call it a night.
Alright.
Let's watch him put some Chef Boyardee ravioli in a waffle iron, because life is meaningless, and I need to find anything to make my neurons go burr.
Alright, everyone, real quick one today.
I'm joking. I don't know why that bit got so depressing for no reason. I'm actually feeling fine today.
We're gonna waffle this Chef Boyardee beef ravioli in pasta sauce.
I don't know if you guys have had any sort of Chef Boyardee thing lately. Last time I had Chef Boyardee is probably, maybe like 5 or 6 years ago. Anyway, it's terrible. It tastes like the worst noodles in ketchup. It's so bad. It's so bad. I used to eat it all the time as a kid too. I don't know how I digested it so often without dying. Oh, fuck me. Oh, God. What a nightmare. Postmodernism has failed us.
I probably could have removed some of the sauce. Come on, light, turn green. The real question is, will it be flat enough? I added a couple of weights to this to press it down. The smoke is starting to get whiter and thicker. So things are starting to smell
Seem to recall me eating it on stream with Jake at one point. May have. We probably did that.
burning.
That sounds like this type of stupid bullshit we would have done.
I don't think we're gonna wait for this to turn green. We're just gonna pull it now.
Oh. Well, what did we learn today?
Not the worst thing I've ever seen. Pretty good, actually. All right, here we go.
It's just burnt ravioli and low quality beef.
Follow your dreams. Well, okay,
Put syrup on it, you coward.
That's
why waffles are waffles, to hold syrup.
It's waffled. Here
Waffles are fucking delicious, by the way.
we go! The parts that aren't burned are pretty good. It tastes like a crispy Chef Boyardee beef ravioli.
That sounds terrible.
Is it worth it? Not really. So I'm gonna have to give the Chef Boyardee beef ravioli a 3 out of 5.
Bop, 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 bop.
His scale is so fucked. How is that a 3 out of 5? The chef that was that David Sorbo movie where he's a reformed atheist. I think it was just Jake that ate it, though. It's possible. We were in different states for a decent number of episodes, so it's possible. I don't know if you guys know how we used to edit those videos and how we shot them, but it's actually so interesting. I learned a lot doing those movie reviews. Jake and I would we'd watch the movies however many times we wanted, and we would take notes and write our jokes with timestamps for when the joke should be. This is for editing purposes for me, because I generally edited the movie reviews, like almost all of them. So like I liked having the timestamps, so when I'm editing I know what clips to grab from the movie and where the jokes go in relation to them. So basically Jake and I would sit there on a Skype call or whatever recording, and we would go, all right, I have a line at 3 minutes 36 seconds, what's your next one? And he would go, oh, I have one at 2 minutes 30 seconds, so I gotta go first. So then he would tell his joke, then whoever had the next chronological timestamp would tell their joke, and so on and so forth, and we'd sometimes improv throughout it. And then I had to edit all that footage together to make it look cohesive, as if we were sitting there and watching a movie together. It's insanely convoluted. That's how content works. It always takes way more work to do content than it takes to watch it. Anyway, let's see who we're gonna raid. I do kind of miss doing the movie reviews. That was fun. There's stuff you can do with editing that you just can't do live, you know? Alright, who raid? Who raid? Oh my god. What a fucking amazing outfit from Lumi. God damn. That's some powerful fucking energy right there. Alright, have a great night, everyone. I hope you have a good time in Lumi's stream. They are excellent, so I hope you have a good time. I'll see you guys probably tomorrow. And, oh, thank you, Nerdy Girl, for following. Welcome. Join the Discord. And that's it. So I'll see you guys later. Have a great night. Love you, Mr. Blast.